Is to the uber spectacular bishop takes on g6. And if you take with the h-pawn, well, you don't want to take with the f-pawn to lose your rook. We insist with a queen sacrifice. And after takes, check, king up, another check. The king is trying to run, but no, we shut the door with h4. And suddenly there's no way to stop rook to h8 mate. If you play g5, we play h5, excuse me. Nobody to come back and help out here. You can throw in a couple of waste checks. We're just going to go march towards your rook. Another check, hello, king f2. And that is all she wrote. Or she would have written, if Divya had found the move e5 and Tan Chongyi had gone for this line, we would have all been amazed and throwing gold coins at her. Unfortunately, she didn't see this variation. Who can blame her? But this is the kind of stuff, you know, journalists are chatting with each other and they share some tidbits. So again, I'd like to thank International Master Mikhail Rahal of Spain, working for FIDE for showing me this spectacular, amazing line in the game we may not have been paying attention to, but now say, wow, this is something I'm going to show to my students. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Maurice. A lovely line in D. As we do go on our break, what are we going to share with our viewers?
Yes, we have a feature of Fabiano Caruana's candidates of 2016. So
Lovely.
Take a look and we'll be back shortly.
In March of 2016, 8 of the world's best chess players gathered in Moscow for one purpose: the right to challenge the world champion. Among them stood Fabiano Caruana, calm, precise, and relentlessly ambitious. The candidates' tournament would not just test preparation, it would test endurance, resilience, and the ability to keep fighting when nothing feels certain. For Caruana, this was more than a tournament. It was the closest he had ever been to destiny. But what no one could see, what no one could possibly know, was that his tournament began not with confidence, but with survival. Even before the games began, the struggle was already underway.
Well, I've kind of shared this sometimes privately, not publicly before, but I was extremely sick for the first 7 rounds of the event, basically. I had a very high fever. I was like almost delirious. So, and one night I got up and I was very confused, very delirious, and it was probably like 4 in the morning. I'm not sure the exact time. And I just got out of the room. I barely dressed, like just dressed in night clothes, and walked to the elevators. And then I came to my senses around the time I was at the elevator. I was like, what am I doing here? I rushed back to my room. I was like very, very high fever. So I still remember that pretty clearly.
While the chess world watched the standings, Caruana was simply trying to function, to sit at the board, to think clearly, and endure. He began the tournament with 7 straight draws. Not the explosive start of a challenger, but the quiet persistence of someone refusing to fall behind.
Somehow, during the tournament, I was fighting well. It was actually one of my better, I think, psychological approaches to the candidates that I've had.
There were mistakes, missed chances, moments where the margin between victory and draw slipped through his fingers. And then, something shifted. After 7 rounds of holding on, Caruana finally broke through. And with it, the entire tournament changed.
So I started with 7 draws, and then I won these 2 very crucial games against Hikaru Nakamura and against Vishy Anand. And I think the game against Hikaru is probably my favorite from the event. I played a double-edged line against his Berlin. I knew it really well. It was like good preparation. It was a strategic position, and I outplayed him. And that really started to set my pace that I could start to fight for the first places.
For the first time, the tournament opened up. The fog of illness lifted, the rhythm returned, the confidence followed. And suddenly, Caruana wasn't just surviving anymore. He was contending. Against Anand, he struck with preparation that landed with precision and force. It pushed him to the top of the standings, tied for first place. The dream was no longer distant. It was immediate. It was real. But the candidates is never a straight path. It is a test of accumulation, of pressure, fatigue, and moments that linger longer than they should. Opportunities came and went. Games that could have been won were drawn. Positions demanded perfection and offered none. And still, round after round, Caruana held his place at the top. Heading into the final stretch, the tournament had narrowed to a single storyline. 2 players, 1 place, 1 chance at the World Championship.
I got very close to qualifying, and it came down to the last round. I was sharing first with Sergei Karyakin, and I had to beat him because the tiebreak situation wasn't in my favor. Winning on demand with the black pieces against a top player is borderline impossible.
And yet, there was no alternative.
I mean, I was just trying to pump myself up that it's possible to do this. You're just 1 win away. I don't know if I fully believed in it, but I mean, what can you do in that situation? You kind of have to win.
So he chose to fight, not to equalize, but to create a game that couldn't be controlled from the start.
And then the rest was just like thinking of something to play that he wouldn't be able to sterilize the game from the very beginning. And we came up with something that actually worked out okay. I mean, the game didn't go straight to a draw. It was a complicated position, but he played well. I never got any realistic chances. It stayed balanced basically up until like move 40.
For a moment, it held possibility. And then, as so often happens at the highest level, everything came down to a single decision.
I made a blunder. I thought that the move I was making was very good for me, and I got a bit overly excited, a bit too emotional in the moment. I thought like now I'm getting serious winning chances, but just like one miscalculation, and instead it was actually a losing move, and I lost the game.
And just like that, it was over. Sergei Karyakin became the challenger for the World Championship. And for Caruana, the dream ended in the final round. By every external measure, it was heartbreak. A missed opportunity at the highest level of the game. But his reaction was quieter, more measured.
I even heard this from one reporter, thought that it would affect me very negatively. And I somehow didn't feel it so much. In hindsight, of course, yeah, it was a close call. And at the time, I wasn't like super disappointed. I think that was good, probably, that I didn't let it get to my head too much.
Because beneath the result, there was something else, something more important. Growth.
I mean, it definitely taught me how to prepare better for the next candidates, because our preparation before 2016 was very amateurish. It was like 1 week, barely working on openings. Some lines we prepared were just bad. Like the preparation wasn't at the level it should have been, but somehow during the tournament I was fighting well.
That is the story of Moscow 2016. Not perfection, not dominance, but resilience. A player who began the event barely able to think clearly, who endured 7 rounds without a win, who rose, fought, and reached the final round tied for first in the most demanding tournament in chess. And although he didn't win, he proved something far more important. That he could carry the pressure, that he could stand at the edge of a world championship and belong there. 2 years later, Fabiano Caruana would return to the candidates tournament, and this time, he would be ready. Because in 2016, through illness, missed chances, and one final miscalculation, he learned exactly what it takes to reach the summit and what it takes to stay there.
And welcome back, everyone. We're still in the middle of round 12 of the candidates. In the open section, there was one quick result in the beginning of the day. The tournament leader, Javokhir Sindarov, drew against Hikaru Nakamura.
an important draw for our tournament leader.
Absolutely, but all other games are still going on, and in the latest section as well, some very exciting things happening. Should we jump straight to that? Because I think Anna Muzychuk has a winning endgame against Alexandra Goryachkina.
Wow. And I've been keeping my eye on the game of Vaishali, our tournament leader. She leads by 1 point against Zhu Jian'er. But unfortunately for Vaishali, she's had no time on the clock. When we broke away, she had less than 7 minutes. Now she's underneath 5 minutes. But she's made a mistake.
So easy to make mistakes when you are so on time and the position's complicated?
Absolutely. And we've reached this position, and already you can see that this...
She lost the control of the d5 square, right?
Precisely. And, okay, for the moment, there's a pin on... you would love to play the move knight to d5, but rook takes b8 check,
but
intermezzo.
Start with rook b5?
Precisely. So you start with the move rook b5 and anticipating knight d5. I think the problem with the desirable knight c3 anticipating knight d5, no. Oof. You've got another possibility, and that is knight d3 with a fork of the queen as well as the rook, and suddenly black is winning. And again,
this can turn around so quickly. Zhu Jian'er takes down Vaishali. They will be tied for first, and then Anna Muzychuk, who's winning her game, will also be tied for first.
Well, let's jump to that one as well. And you said she's transposed to, well, a rook and pawn ending with an extra pawn.
But it's the good setup where white has a very good chance of winning.
Wow. Wow. Miro jumped right in on this one. Huge results in the ladies' candidates.
Well, no results yet, but yeah, potential for almost like turning standings upside down.
Right.
And for Anna and Alexandra Muzychuk-Goryachkina, that is, this endgame that you guys call winning, I mean, it was a drawn endgame a couple of moves ago, so it really goes back and forth. So I'm not sure what exactly happens to Alexandra Goryachkina, but she definitely doesn't have a tournament of her life, because even like the last move, so they've gotten this position not so long ago, 3v3 with the passed pawn on the side, you know, black seemingly has the rook where it's supposed to be, and then rook c6 was played. And you see the Val bar goes up, and I guess it's just like white starts running. So those positions, let's say black done something, you went b4, rook b2, those positions usually end up being like a tempo play. White starts running, you know, black starts taking the kingside pawns, sacrifices the rook for the b pawn, so it's a, you know, like a thriller movie script, right? And then going rook c6, and if you will have to go back to c2 in this case, that means you've lost a couple of tempi in a position that you had to play very precise. And then, like, I guess white's already winning with moves like king f3, but even h5 seems to be even more of an achievement, right?
Yes.
Because black might not get this sort of counterplay at all.
Exactly.
Right, so yeah, big misstep by Goryachkina, and b4 was played by Muzychuk, who's getting a chance. And then, yeah, back to Vaishali and Zhu Jian'er, rook to b5 was played, as you guys correctly underlined that this is an important move, but it's also ironic that if white was to go a4, you do go back to b7, so you are still pinned, but no pawn to go a2, a3 anymore. So the knight is quite safe on b4. The problem with your knight being pinned was that white was threatening to go a3 and win the knight, right?
Right.
So that you lure this pawn to a4, you go rook this pin, I guess. Zhu Jian'er is getting a realistic chance. 6.
Right.
Vaishali is down to 3.5 minutes. That is getting really, really scary for a tournament leader.
And we do have a move. She has sacrificed a pawn, has Vaishali. She's played the move d4 to d5, saying,
At least
I need,
give me the d4 square,
at
right?
least I get the d4 square. You can have the d5 square for your knight. I'll have a d4 square for my knight. But knight takes d5. It's going to be, 3.5 minutes to 10.5 minutes. Wow. but it's an extra pawn.
Yeah, that c-pawn is a passer, and I mean, this is still game for 3 results. Anything can happen, but Zhu is looking very good right now.
Very, very good. And again, if she wins, if Anna wins, it's going to be a 3-way tie.
With 2 rounds to go.
Now, that's what we would call dramatic.
There'll be a couple of players just half point behind them as well.
Also in the mix.
And they're all playing each other, so, oh, wow. That's good.
Great.
We wish it was same in the Open, right?
Yeah, well, talking about the Open, I want to switch our game to the game between Wei Yi and Anish. Yes, sorry.
With MVL, what we analyzed, it's on the board. Exactly.
Wow.
Queen f6 and rook d1 has happened.
Maxine chose the moment to join us. So we had been looking at bishop h6, queen f6. And by the way, I don't think we really got a chance to emphasize how tricky the move queen f6 is. It's got a kind of a dual purpose idea. First, to play g5 and to trap the bishop. That's very, very nice. Second, to play a3.
Didn't even notice that.
Yeah, like if you made a move, it's not a good move. h2, h4, a2, a3 could really upset
Lose
you.
The game on the spot, really.
I think you would wanted rook d1, which in fact is what Wei Yi played.
You know, that was apparently the only move.
Because he's setting up for his own sacrifices should rook takes b2.
To show our audience that line, so if black plays g5 trying to trap the bishop, how does white get out of it?
Exactly. No choice.
We take.
We take. We take. Queen takes with a check. Now,
if you go king h8 here.
Exactly.
I have bishop takes g5.
Precisely. The queen is, in a sense, it's overworked. You have to prevent queen e5 check, but you're trying to guard against the bishop as well. And bishop takes. And suddenly, no problems whatsoever for...
but what if black went queen f7 instead of king h8?
Yes, let's go
and
back.
Does white have enough for the exchange?
I would say, you know, it's funny.
Wouldn't trade queens though, right?
Right, I would not trade queens. You said, does white have enough? And I would almost argue he has more than enough. Like, I don't know if that is true, by the way. It's just that this pawn is a little dangerous, you know.
Yeah, the only concern white has is the king. So if black, rook, and queen quickly come over to the first rank, we'll be in trouble. Let's say rook e8.
Right. Just to emphasize that there are problems on the back rank for black as well. Rook e8, yes. You mentioned if you can make a combination. H3. I'm not even interested in the pawn.
Okay, now I can force a queen trade maybe. With queen e6.
Oh, queen e6.
Or queen e7 might be a little bit better, just so I don't hang g5 right away.
Yeah. Wait a minute. How do you force the queen trade?
Queen e7.
Check. Queen e6. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, boy.
So still anything can happen in this game. And Wei Yi has 13 minutes for next 13 moves.
Maybe I end up having to take
can
the
be
pawn.
Crucial.
Yeah. 13 minutes versus 29.
30 minutes, yeah.
By the way, kudos to Anish Giri, who's been managing his time extremely well. He's played a very, very...
He learned from Sindarov.
Yeah, he's played a very impressive candidates and in a different...
yeah, if there was no
simulation
doing +6, Anish would be in clear first.
Exactly.
Without competition.
Remarkable. The current position, I'm just going to refresh my board because we do have the move rook d1, and I'm sure it's these positions that both players are calculating, actually.
Anish has just played g5.
Talk about a challenge. Here we go. Miro.
Guessing all the moves.
Jump right in. g6, g5, and this is it for Anish. I mean, he needs this victory to make a story for the tournament.
Right, you're absolutely right. And it looks like after g5, white will have to find your line. Rook takes g5, rook takes d5, and then followed with bishop g5 next. But it seems that Anish had a better practical chance, even though with precise moves being played by Wei, it would still be equal. Because after rook d1, there was a devilish trap of going a3 first.
Really?
Okay. A3, and you look at your opponent, you think, what's that? I'll take it. And g5, I know what I'm doing, rook d5. But it happens so that this one loses, because now c takes, king h8, and bishop g5, I have a little intermezzo, rook b1. And black is just winning. So
king
after, like king f2, and black just takes the bishop, and there is apparently no perpetual, and the rook is safe on b1.
Right.
So after a3, pawn takes g5. White has one and only one move to make, to keep the position relatively balanced. It's still like tiny bit better for black. And the move is h2, h4. And I bet that this move is not easy to find. So,
not
well,
at all.
Point being, you cannot yet take on d5. At the same time, black is not threatening to take on h6 yet. Like if you were to go h3 and black was to take on h6, rook d5 still leads to a check. There is like some strange looking perpetual over there. Queen d5, because the king cannot really go to g7, so it would go to f8 and then back to g8.
I see.
Yeah, but after h3, it turns out black has, well, nothing's attacked, so black can prepare taking the bishop, going rook d8. And this is how you come to the conclusion that your move cannot be rook d5 because you lose tactically, but you also cannot be slow because you lose after rook d8. So that's how you come to play h4. And then after queen h6, indeed, this is a draw like that, king f8 and queen to f5, and king has to bounce between g8 and f8. Or black can go g4. You have to be brave for this, because now you are material down with black. Okay, one pawn, but also the position becomes quite sharp. Bishop to g5, queen e5. Computer slightly favors black, but in reality anything is possible. While after Anish's move g5, white absolutely forced to take on d5, of course, but it seems that it does provide enough. Queen d5, I think you were going queen f7, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, well, computer's still kind of not entirely sure what to do. Queen d2, I guess, queen d4, queen d2, let's say. Queen to d2, attacking this one, f4. Well, black might still have practical chance, because I would think, okay, I'll just take, but then queen f5 and queen b1. Still a game. So objectively, I guess, no advantage if both sides play mathematically correct chess, but there is a possibility to go wrong for Wei Yi, of course. Starting with this very move, because if he doesn't play rook d5, he might as well resign.
Exactly. Rook takes d5 as box. And as important a game as this is to Anish Giri, and it is absolutely crucial. The next two rounds can even be equally so.
Or more so.
More so. This is the round 13.
He win today, so that when he faces Javokhir Sindarov with the white pieces, he has a lot of motivation to beat him and have a chance for the first place. In the last round, he'll be playing Blübaum with black, and we've been saying Blübaum's very solid, especially with the white pieces, but you know, if you're playing for the first place and you're facing the last seed of the tournament in the last round, that's...
You are inspired to play the best game of your life.
Feel like you have a chance.
Absolutely. And this is it.
This is his last chance. If Anish loses today, Sindarov wins the tournament. It will be over. However, if Anish draws or wins, still not over, 2 more rounds to go, and they will be playing each other in the next round.
And we have quite a number of moves going on between Wei Yi and Anish Giri.
Actually, no, it was only g5. That's our analysis.
Oh, was it? Oh, I'm hitting
the
light board.
Too.
Yeah, I'm hitting the light board as well.
Rook d5.
Rook takes d5 on Q. Well, c takes d5.
I'm more curious about here if Anish is going to quickly play queen f7 or consider king h8. As we know, queen f7 is the better move, but...
Yeah, just, I mean, I really despise the move king h8 just from the perspective of moving onto the dark squares.
It's just a pure blunder of the g5 pawn as well. So.
Right. So, yeah, no, we're looking at queen f7. And I got an, I mean...
queen d6 was not the best, yeah.
I must say, Queen d6, I found myself drawn to. But Queen d2 comes with the idea of taking with check, and it was this
It's not
strange
natural
line.
to provoke a 4. Like, why am I provoking a 4? I think I would play Queen d4 instead of Queen d2.
Yes, exactly. And
Here, I might lose my queen in 2 moves.
yes,
Scary.
as well as your bishop, right? The bishop is hanging. I mean, I do have bishop h4 and bishop e1.
We don't want to pin our bishop on the first rank.
I hate allowing those pins.
Highly doubt Wei Yi would go for this.
Well, the crazy part is they're pawns. That there is this pawn on c5 that's.
Oh yeah, it's a great pawn, and supporting it with the bishop would be nice. But this is not a human line; that's a computer line. I think we'll see Queen d4 here.
Defending b2 makes a lot of sense.
Yes, and just being on the good diagonal makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and I want to take on g5 now.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I think we were looking at rook e8.
Yeah, probably.
With the idea of, I don't know, rook e1. And
rook e4 ideas there. E4 or e1.
Yeah.
Probably improve the check.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so disgusted by the fact that White's king hasn't been,
we don't have h3
forced out or something. So let's include at least rook check and rook to e4.
Maybe I'll give you a check on d8 here.
Okay, I'll go back. And
Then I'll come back. I mean, I think Wei Yi is fine with a draw.
Yeah.
Anish who needs a win. Yes, Queen f7 is on the board, and this is a critical moment. Where is Wei Yi going to put his queen?
Wow. What's surprising to me in the current position is how the very desirable Queen d6, right, going after the rook e8. I was thinking that I was going to make the pawn, into a monster, that any moves like c6 allow.
Actually, Yasser, I think you blunder
worse.
in a mate after c6, Queen a7. The first rank. It's bothering me we don't have a pawn on h3.
There was a senior championship here in I think it was Max Delugi.
I remember that. I was commentating.
Missing this,
the mate.
This queen way to the side of the board. I just did the very same thing. It's a blind spot. Oh, oops, no queen
Can't push the
d6.
pawn.
So again, Wei Yi down to 7 minutes. He's on move 30?
Yes, 29. So
Yeah.
still has 11 moves to go, but next couple of moves are critical. His king can't end up in a dangerous situation. His bishop's still not out, so there's something to worry about there as well.
Okay, so the most, let's say, safe move, queen to d4, makes absolutely the most
So if
sense.
one goes queen g6 here, what do we do with the bishop? I guess we just give a check and repeat, right?
Well, the funny part is you're not threatening to take it.
All right, the tactic still works.
Right. Mira
play
was
h4,
mentioning h4. I might mention that, well,
Maybe even c6.
C6, suddenly, if you can't take the bishop, which was the whole purpose of queen
Then I wasted a move.
Yeah. But no, that's my bad analysis.
No, queen d2 is suggested by the engine, but it's just not natural for humans.
Right.
I think.
So
We'll see.
here's a crucial moment, and Wei Yi's clock is ticking down to 6 minutes. What, for you, Nasi, do you constitute time trouble? What's time trouble for you? When you get below 10 minutes, when you get below 5 minutes?
5. I feel it immediately.
3?
I feel it in my body when it's just 5 minutes. My hands start to shake. My leg starts to shake under the table. Yeah.
Yeah. Miro, join that conversation. What for you is time trouble when you really feel the intensity of the
You mean
moment?
in a classical game?
Yes, of course.
Well, I'm old enough to remember when we used to not have any increment after moves. So those were real-time troubles. Like
Right,
when you
scrambles.
really don't know how many moves you made, right? You have
Right.
this like flag hanging on you, and you've made moves as fast as you can, and then you figure out you've played like 47 moves just to be sure. Right. So now it's a little bit less, a little bit less stress, but I'd say like first notice it when you have seconds appearing on your clock. So that is, you pass 20, last 20 moves, and then it goes like 19 and seconds. And that is like a first hint of you being like short on time. And then, I would agree with Nazi, like last 5 minutes is something where I'm stressed.
Yeah, nerve-wracking.
What
Me
about
too.
you?
I've always felt the same. That 5 minute was like, okay, suddenly, like, let's go,
it's suddenly a blitz game.
Yeah.
You're no longer in the classical mode. And Wei Yi has played queen d2. I take everything back. I guess it is a human move.
Yeah, because what's better than taking a pawn?
But I didn't like that pawn's coming to f4 and it's getting closer to my king.
Well, let's take a deeper look at that move f4. Again, with the clock times at 5 minutes, Wei Yi might be thinking, that move h4 a moment ago, why not break up the team?
But queen takes a2?
Wow, you're moving away from...
The queen and rook are coming towards my king, and I didn't want to allow any of that.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, you're not threatening. You can't be threatening queen takes b2 because I got a check. You can't be threatening...
One check.
Okay, just one check.
Just one check.
Is it only just one check? Okay, let's go. C7.
Let's say queen takes b2.
I can't play c7. You don't take my queen. You come back with check.
Yes.
Oh, no. Sorry. I wanted to say that.
Somehow we are not lost here. The engine still says it's fine.
I notice the bar hasn't moved, but I guess I have even this. Oh, not c7. Sorry. I don't want to lose the pawn, obviously.
Check, king moves.
Check, king moves, h8.
Go c7. I still have queen c1.
c7, queen c1. Yeah, I see that.
You can take bishop g5, and your king is safe on h2.
That's what I wanted to say. The inclusion of h4. At least I have.
Yeah.
I can.
No, I think black has more to worry about here because you're threatening some queen f5s, and
And your king is on this diagonal. That if I ever do get a nasty bishop f4, bishop e5, you're going to be crying. So maybe. Do we have f4 on the board yet? No.
No, Anish is thinking. He has plenty of time, 25 minutes.
Miro, the game just got enormously sharp. Nazi was complaining that encouraging f5, f4 is not what she wanted to do. But after f4, h4, it's double-edged.
No, that's one thing, Yasser, but I was waiting for you to figure out why computer wanted to go queen d2. Because in your queen d4 line, you guys were worried about rook e4. Remember?
Right.
And now what computer does, it goes queen d2, you go 4, and then it goes back to d4. Okay. So if you go here, bishop takes, and you don't have rook e4. Well, by the way, bishop g5 is a terrible mistake, as it turns out. I thought I figured it out. I cracked the code. No. It is like white's holding, but it is as complicated as it gets, like some c6 moves and so on. I wanted to step up here and say queen d6, which I would agree with you guys looked like the most natural move.
Sure.
I'm not sure if it's as hopeless as we wanted to
Breaking news. I'm so sorry to interrupt, Miro.
Yep.
Wei Yi just blundered. He played c6, and
Wow.
Anish has a win.
Queen a7 again. He blundered this. Yeah, queen to a7.
Yes,
and now,
your idea.
wow. King h1 and queen e3. Wow. So queen d5, queen d5, king h8, and the queen covers both d4 and e5 squares.
Ooh, wow.
Huge miss.
What an opportunity.
If
What
Anish
an opportunity.
finds this, wins this game, wow.
King h1, and let me just put this on the board again. King h1, queen comes to e3, protecting the square d4, attacking the queen, queen d5 check, king h8, and you can't deliver.
You have nothing. You have nothing, yeah.
But okay, I can't.
I feel like Wei Yi underestimated the weakness of his king completely. Because he didn't include h3 at all, and now opened up the diagonal on his king.
Okay, I still don't see quite the
F3?
winner. f3. Oh, check.
I told you,
and
when
rook
pawn
takes
comes to
b2.
f4, it's coming too close to my king.
Okay, f3. Wow. Okay. Okay, I'm still catching up. So the problem is, anytime I capture and open up the second rank, there's a check, and rook takes b2 as mate. Wow.
And Anish has 20 minutes to figure all this out.
And it starts with queen a7 check.
I think it's all pretty straightforward.
Oops,
I mean, he's not going to miss this opportunity.
Well,
a gift really given to him.
Well, c6 has always, you know, in Wei Yi's mind, he's missed queen a7 check. There's no question. But in his mind, he was thinking, okay, I'm stopping any of those queen takes a2 variations because c7 just wins the game. So he thought he was being clever. Instead he opened up a check here, queen e3. By the way, I can't play king f1. You check me on a6. And that's just too simple.
If you spot queen a7, which of course you do, it's all very simple.
Yeah. And this
queen
is
a6, yeah.
This is a nice one.
Just take on c6. You can include the check. I don't know if that's better, but yeah.
Yeah. I think, yeah. So we're going to go, after queen a7 check, we're going to go into the corner, king h1. You're going to go queen e3, reminding me of a back rank. I have no time to trade queens and try and... So I have to give a check. You go king h8.
Now look at my first rank. Now it feels white is lost. And
h3,
this was exactly
f3.
what I was afraid of, and I didn't want the pawn on f4. I've lost the similar situations enough times that I know I don't want to allow a 4 f3.
Right. If the pawn was on f5, you'd feel a lot better right now, wouldn't you? Miro, opportunity is knocking.
Right. Well, Anish, if he finds it, we are not talking opportunity. He will be winning. But let me take you to the women's section, because not only Muzychuk is winning this endgame, but Vaishali seems to be absolutely lost against Gigino.
Wow.
They're both in a time trouble, so things are, you know, switching back and forth. But after h3, computer just screams it's completely winning. Knight b3, well, black just has to take here. King h2 and g1, anything is winning. What do we want? The rook. So now if you take with the rook, black trades and captures the knight on b3. Right. If you take with the knight, then knight jumps somewhere.
Anywhere.
f4, c3, and queen g2 checkmate. So she just has to find, takes on g2, and if king g1, then knight f4, of course, and knight e2 is the big threat, and f3 is hanging. So yeah, black is getting to the white's king.
Well, it's always one of those things that time trouble makes fools of us all. And let me just pick up on what has happened in the Vaishali game. When we left it, we saw the move d5. We thought that was white's best chance, actually. Vaishali's best chance was to sacrifice the pawn to give her
use the
scope.
d4 square for one of her pieces?
I think it's ironic that she plays the move king h1 to get out of the h4, h3 business, and it just so happens that it's working for Zhu anyway. And
such a messy position. Playing this without time.
No. Oh, that was the move that lost it. It's not easy for white. I'll just put it that way. What is white supposed to do? I don't really like taking on h4, but knight c1, h3.
Knight c1 was a panic move, and her king side completely collapses.
We do have a queen. We do have knight. Oh my gosh, she's
this
found
game's
all
over.
the
Guys,
good
this
moves.
game should be over any time.
Yeah, she's
Knight
found,
c3 just wins.
Yeah, she found all the perfect moves. Knight c1 attacking the rook, the old double attack. You're threatening checkmate on the move, and knight c3 attacks the rook and winning.
Wins the game. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
Zhu, we know her start was very shaky. She had winning positions. She was not converting.
She
but
could have
today,
gone
she could have
3-0.
won already.
It's like ridiculous, right?
She could have been like Javokhir and winning the tournament.
Yes.
But Wow, winning on demand with the black pieces against the leader. So she joins her in the lead. Incredible. And what a game this was.
And she's won. That's it.
It's official, I think.
It's official.
Resigned.
Wow. Let's quickly go to the game of Anna Muzychuk, if you don't mind, because we saw that rook ending some moves ago.
But it's still tricky because we know it's a rook endgame. I just noticed the bar that says it's white all the way. But I think it's easy because we have the e-pawn, e5, e6, right?
You know, it's funny that you said it's easy because we have the e-pawn. I thought it was easy because we haven't yet traded the h-pawn.
If you play e5, king f6, then you don't have e5 anymore.
Okay.
It's funny how you guys say it's easy, and Anna already found like 3 only moves to win, and then, yeah, like you have to go e5, another only move that keeps the...
Did she find it?
Hang on.
Yet.
No,
e5, yeah, e5 she needs to play, but then king g6, Compi says h5, yeah?
Yep. That looks...
And this is somehow winning. But even so, like, how can we be so sure? And then after king f5, the only way to win is to go king d4. Now, come on, give me a break.
Wait, rook f7 is not winning?
Rook f7 is not winning.
Oh.
Rook f7, king e5. Yeah.
How is...
So this is some, like, really weird rook endgame that it is winning, but, like, to find all that...
Right.
I guess, like, e5 is very logical, h5 is very logical.
Okay, so just a second. I mean, you can't fault Alexandra because from what she understands about rook and pawn game, what we've all been taught, in fact, is that your counterplay against the b pawn is to create a mess on the king side.
By the way, Goryachkina has 1 minute against Anna's 4 minutes. I mean, both in time trouble and apparently very difficult endgame.
But have they made? They haven't made.
They did reach move 40, so that is just.
So we have to wait for the clocks to go under.
I think they got their 30 minutes and just went down all the way here.
No, we still have some time trouble. We had time troubles just yet, so that is. By the way, in other news, Lagno blundered her advantage against Bibisara in a time trouble. Now it's completely lost if the game's not done yet. So a lot of unexpected results in the women's sections, which makes me want to look at the standings if we can once again, because like now it's like everything is so...
blown up.
Yeah, precisely. So Bibisara had what, 5.5? If she wins, she'll be on 6.5.
She was in the trailing pack, right?
Right, with leaders having 7 points. So she'd be. So we'll have 3-way tie, Muzychuk, Vaishali, and Georgina, and then Bibisara would be half a point behind with 2 rounds to go.
Wow.
So unlike in the open section here, you can have like up to 5 names of potential winners. We don't know.
Right.
But in the open section, it does look like that it's not over for Javokhir at all. Anish is making it very interesting. He's taking his time. He knows right now he has a chance of his lifetime.
And it's right here. He found the move Queen A7 check, which is kind of a hidden move.
Played it quickly.
And he did play it quickly. King has gone to H1. 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes for Wei Yi. They're not getting increments added until they meet the first time control move 40, and we've been looking at Queen E3.
They're far away from move 40, still 8 moves to go. This game can be over in 8 moves.
Queen E3 looks like an absolute scorcher of a move, attacking the queen, wanting back rank checkmates. This looks to be the only move. King H8, and I was looking for deliverance.
By the way, we're watching Anish Giri's game. I see on the screen Prague.
Yeah. And what I've been looking at is Queen E3. The problem with H4 is I'm actually losing the H pawn with the check.
That too, but I think F3 ends the game on the spot. That's the thing. Anish now, it's not like he has the only moves. Yeah, F3, this is the line we looked at, right?
No, last time I was playing H3.
Oh, okay. F takes G?
Queen takes G2.
Losing, right? Queen E1 check. Queen E5, Rook B2. This has got to be over.
Queen E5. Yes. So Queen E3 is the winning move. Queen E5 check. Just a second. Hold on. I still No.
Rook take. The thing is, you don't have anything on black's king.
Right.
Nothing, not a single check.
No.
And rook takes b2. If this is not winning, then
Well, you're just
I understand
crashing
nothing.
through.
Yeah, this is just mate is coming, right?
Yes, exactly. There's just now the king is far too exposed. Okay, so even against h4, f3 is a winner.
Do you think Sindarov is a little bit worried right now, looking at this position?
No, he's playing video games.
True. He's not even looking at this
I've got
game.
my connection in Cyprus who's keeping me informed. It's all about the video games. I hope he has a lot of lives in whatever games he's playing. So just to rewind here, h3, f3, bishop takes g5.
Take on g2.
Take on g2. Take on g2.
That's mate into rook b2.
Rook takes b2, mates. I have to play queen takes g2.
And
you give me a check.
Forward. Check, and take. These are the easiest lines to calculate when everything is forcing and only moves.
Right. When you're staring at mate in 1, it's kind of easy for you to find queen e5 check. When you go back, now it's rook takes b2.
By the way, all these lines happened before they reach move 40, so...
They've got to calculate in
Anish has twice
trouble.
as much time as Wei Yi, but Wei Yi does have only moves. It's not time that's his problem right now. His position is completely lost after queen e3.
My final great act of defiance, c7. You don't take my
b1
queen.
check.
That's.
I will take with the check.
Yeah, I saw another check, but.
Yeah, that's also.
Yes, completely winning actually for Anish. No trickies for Wei Yi, and our special guest for today, for those joining us late, was Maxine, MVL. And Maxine was saying that Wei Yi has not played according to his standards and what he's capable of, and I think this game is indicative, more or less. Yeah.
Well, we'll keep an eye on all this. We're going to take a, short break. You can enjoy Ben Underwood's segment. I think he has some puzzle prepared for you. We'll be back shortly.
Okay.
Hello everybody and welcome back to your coverage of the 2026 candidates. My name is Ben Underwood, statistician at the St. Louis Chess Club. We're going to be looking a little bit at these players, looking at some of the brilliance and blunders that have happened so far, and specifically answering the question about opening preparation. Who's been the most prepped, and has it helped them win games in the tournament? So don't go anywhere. We're going to get started right now. But before we do anything, we have to look at the daily puzzle. Let's take a look. This comes from the analysis of yesterday's game with Yasser and Nazi. We reached this position right here. Now, what do you think is Black's most intuitive move? Yasser played it without hesitation. King takes that extra pawn, which loses the game instantly. So our puzzle for today is you to find the winning move for White that wins the game. Go ahead and take 3 seconds, pause, try to figure it out, and we'll be right back at the end of the break solving this one together. Total tournament blunders is up to 50. I was wondering if we were going to reach 50 by the end of the tournament, but with 3 rounds to go, we've reached 50, and we had a couple really significant ones in round 11, looking at the Blübaum and Prague game. Now, Blübaum on move 33 lost 44.5% of his expected score, and Prague turned right around, missed the continuation, and lost half of his expected score as well. We're going to take a look at that sequence right here. Rook to e8. Why is this a blunder? Well, after the rook takes here on f7, d5 is the best move, and you are threatening the queen, but after the queen takes here on g5, you must take the rook that's now sitting on f7. You're going to trade that queen for the rook and the knight, and after that, you've given away 2 pawns, you've given away a bad trade, but Prague missed all of this. He stepped out of the way with queen to f3, losing that expected score. This game ended in a draw, but had a couple brilliance even after this sequence. One with a bishop attraction that ended in a forced repetition. I encourage you to take another look at this game because it was truly beautiful, even ending in a draw. Let's take a look now at the opening prep. This is the average moves to the first deep think. So how do I define a deep think? This is any move where a player thought for 8 minutes or more, or if they thought for 5 minutes more than once. So Anish Giri, on average, doesn't think for a long time until 14.5 moves into the game. Blübaum, Sindarov around that same thing right there. And then you look at Caruana and Nakamura over here at 11.6, a little bit less. Does that mean that they are less prepped? Not necessarily. You know that all of these players have certain openings that they know maybe 30, even 40 moves ahead. So it could be that just Blübaum and Giri are playing openings with a lot more theory. This is why we have this second graph. This is the deep think surplus per player. So to explain this a little bit more, if I'm playing you and I decide to think on move 14 for a long time, but you thought on move 12, my surplus is 2. 2 in my favor, positive, and that is a number averaged over all the rounds played so far. So we have Prague over here, around 2 minutes later than his opponent that he's having to think, and this is no surprise at all. Every tournament that I've worked and made this graph for, which Prague is playing, Prague is usually in the top 1 or 2 ranked players in this scenario. Usually he's playing openings that are a little bit weird, getting his opponents to think, maybe a little bit uncomfortable. So this is no surprise to me at all. But I'm remembering a FIDE social media interview where they asked all the players, who do you think is the best prepped for this candidates tournament? And by far the overwhelming favorite was Caruana right here. I think even Nakamura got a few votes in there too, but looking at the numbers, it seems that they're less prepped by 4 to 3 moves on average. Of course, this is just a signal of opening preparation. There's a lot more that goes into it. But looking at the time that a player thinks first versus their opponent could be a really big signal into how prepped they are. The numbers are looking a little bit different than what the players previously said in those FIDE interviews. But let's take a look at the overall time spent per player per move up to move 20. So Sindarov, on average, on the clock is a half an hour ahead of his opponents. You go up the graph, Wei Yi, around 13 minutes. His opponents have around 13 minutes more than him by move 20, but Sindarov is crushing everyone in this statistic at 28. And if you remember, yesterday, he was down on the clock. So on average, he has been so far ahead of his opponents. So what does this mean for not only the candidates tournament, but for chess? It's showing that time is a huge factor, maybe in comparison to the quality of moves that you're playing against your opponent. Sindarov now crushing this tournament has also been a lot better on time. Now, there could be some outliers that go into this. Nakamura, on round 5, move 13, thought for 67 minutes versus Sindarov. If you remember, this was this H4 move that completely lost the game for Nakamura, even admitted that this was outside of his prep and he had to think for a long time. Wei Yi versus Sindarov, round 6, move 18, also 46.6 minutes. Esipenko had a few thinks over 40 minutes, which were the 3rd and 4th longest of the tournament so far, and then Caruana last round at 38.5. But I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend here. Look at this. Sindarov, Sindarov, Sindarov. He is putting his opponents into positions that make them very uncomfortable and make them think for a long time on a single move. Back to the puzzle. Go ahead and take 3 more seconds to try and find the correct move. What is it? King to B3. Now, what is the idea here? Well, you're threatening rook to C4 or rook to C2. You come over here, and it's a forced trade of rooks, and that pawn's going to promote for free. So you have a couple ideas. Go ahead and get out of the way. However, once the rook checks on C3, same old song and dance, the king has to come back on either side, and you're going to get over there and promote for free. Is there one other trick that could maybe work? I was talking to Nazi about this one before the game. King to F1. What's the winning move here? You must play king to b2. That rook is unprotected. It's going to try to get out of the way over here on a5 or something, but then after rook to c1, same exact thing, forced trade of rooks, and that pawn is going to promote for free. This was a beautiful analysis by both Yasser and Nazi earlier in this game yesterday. Now, before we head back, let's take a look at the tournament projections before this round started. We have Sindarov at 99%, Giri at 1%. Of course, if Giri were to lose today after Sindarov's draw, the tournament is completely over. So Giri must pull out a draw at least, or even a win would make their matchup tomorrow a little bit more interesting. Let's take a look at the rating progression of Sindarov after this draw today. We saw that pre-tournament he was around 27.45, going up to round 7 where he had gained a whole 25 rating points. Lost a little bit over a series of draws, one again getting him up to 27.73, and then drawing 2 players higher rated than him. He is up to 27.75 right now. If he wins another game, he could overtake his countryman Abdusatorov for the 4th highest rated player in the world. Depending on how Caruana and Nakamura do, he could even get number 3 or number 2. This will be one to watch out for in the next 2 rounds. But for now, we are going to throw it back to the studio with Yasser, Nazi, and Miro for continued coverage of the candidates.
Thank you so much, Ben. And we have to go straight back to Anish's game.
Let's
While
do
we're
it.
on break, a lot of moves came in, a lot of things changed. Anish didn't find the immediately winning move, Queen E3.
And that was
end the game pretty much on the spot.
And making the tournament suddenly quite an interesting one. He found Queen C5, which is still
He went for the second best line.
Advantage for Anish. He's captured the pawn, and F3.
Perfect move.
Takes Queen C4. Eyeballing.
Threatening Queen F1. I think
Queen
only
F1.
move here for Wei Yi was King G1, which he found. By the way, he's down to 1 minute, and there's still a couple moves away from the time control.
Okay.
And here, Engine doesn't love Anish's move Queen A2. And I think it's because it allows White to go Bishop F6 and set up some checks on the king side.
And still, with 3 moves to go in the time control, I just feel like anything can happen, actually. This is very suddenly dangerous. Yeah. Well, I would probably just drop back with the queen myself and say, okay, if I set up Queen F7.
Yes, sir, but then I'll drop back with my bishop on C3.
Yeah.
Now, ooh, okay. Before we discuss this, Wei Yi played King F2, which is not...
Instead of Bishop F6.
Yes.
He has played the move King F2.
Which is not nearly as good as Bishop F6.
Okay.
But okay, at least his king is not getting mated, like in the lines after Queen E3 he was getting mated. His king is alive, but...
Okay, I'll drop back with the queen. The queen did my duty, which was to take a pawn. Next
H4.
duty.
H4, I noticed.
H4. Okay. It's funny, I've got another one of those, lateral checks. Yeah, Queen 8. No. What am I supposed to do with my king? We do have Queen E6, H4 on the board. These are very human moves in terms of
practical.
Yeah. Your pawn down.
Wei Yi's going to reach the time control.
You grab the pawn.
He only has 1 move left, and then the question is Black still really winning this, or Black is just better?
Miro, jump in on that. I mean, I still favor Black, but it wasn't the decisive advantage that Queen E3 would have brought him.
You're absolutely right. Is Black better? The answer is yes. Is Black winning? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, if we go back here, indeed, Queen E3 we've already spoken about. So after Queen C5, C7 was found.
Okay.
Rook E8, then H4 would be, better than H3. After H3, Black is back in the business of winning it. We went all the way here, and then you said Queen A2 wasn't really great, but I'm not sure if the engine is not misleading us, because queen e2 is what engine wanted, and queen e6, forcing this way the trade of queens. But I'm not sure if this one's winning, because I can imagine somehow black improving the position, so on and so forth, but in order for black to win, you really have to pick both white pawns a2 and b2 without exchanging it for the a pawn, right? So it's feels like so many chances for white to go b3 in the right moment, like a3, bishop c1 even.
Miro,
like
Wei Yi just reached move 40 in the current position. Anish still has to make the last move after bishop f4. What is the
bishop
engine's
f4
assessment?
-1, but nothing decisive. So like rook back to f8 and rook e8, -1. -1, I would think it means a sort of a sort of a fortress of some kind.
He played queen b6 check, but he can take the pawn on b2.
Check.
So.
You gotta go to g3,
and then rook to d8.
Maybe? If you were to give this check, then king h3, and yeah, you have the perpetual, but not more than that. So after queen b6, king g3, rook d8.
But
yeah, it's still tricky. It's still tricky. Apparently, you have to go queen c1.
Yeah,
in order to guard g1.
Yeah. Yeah, guarding g1 makes sense. Queen c1.
Yes, well, white's kind of holds, but yeah, obviously not happy.
Right.
And I mean, white has counterplay. There's always checks on the two diagonals.
And I am seeing that the players are been given
control.
their extra 30 minutes having reach time control, and now
down.
they will be getting their increments
They just did,
of 30
yes.
seconds.
Question in the current position, why is king g3 forced? Can I just play king f1?
Sorry, let me just refresh my board. You're saying in the current position...
Yeah, why am I even allowing queen g1 check?
King f1.
Apparently it's not good, but it's not clear to me why.
Yeah, just pause for a second here. I was trying rook d8 in the previous line when the king was on g3. Maybe it's the same.
Still the
right?
same, rook d8, okay.
Rook
Say I
d8.
go queen e2.
Queen e2. Okay, so you're sneakily having your
You can
ideas.
ignore my ideas. Do your thing.
What is my thing? I would like to maybe trade queens.
Okay. King g2.
Okay.
I'm avoiding the queen trade.
So your king ends up on
Yeah,
the g file
it's
anyway,
okay.
right? Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think king g... I mean, according to the engine, king g3 is the only move, but for us, it's not clear why.
Exactly. It's not clear for me either why that
But he's
would be
played
true.
king g3, the best move. He avoided the curse of move 41. You know how often blunders happen on move 41?
Tell me about it. I mean, I grew up in the era of move 40 blunders. Yeah.
For me, move 40 blunder is just as common as move 41. Because you get this time, and instead of taking your time to think, you're still in the spinning mode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were also told that you can't be 100% certain you had made move 40. You might, on your score sheet, have
messed it up.
So play an extra move. You're right. And Miro, how are the ladies doing?
Well, we already know the leader has lost and got caught up by her opponent. Yes. Zhuzhina wins. Then Anna Muzichuk still plays her winning rook endgame against Goryachkina, so potentially that's another leader. And then Katerina Lagno, who had an advantage with the black pieces, now, well, she spoiled it in the time trouble, and now she's lost. So that was the position about move 33 or something. Yeah, rook d2 was fine, e6. And you can tell, even though black is better, it's a very, very sharp position, right? F takes, queen f4, attacking the d2 rook, and then black had to find bishop c6. Apparently was the only move to get an advantage. And then after rook fd8, fe6, pawn happens to be very dangerous. Black, well, still had a chance to keep it balanced, but then after rook d1 and a trade king g2, pawn is no longer possible to stop. So bishop c6, queen f7 and queen f5 and e7, queen b7, check on e6, and queen takes e6, e8.
Nice.
So that's what? That's an extra piece for Bibisara Sabayeva, and I guess they will be wrapping up the game shortly after rook f8.
Yeah,
Rook f8, rook h8 checkmate, Stratton. Will not be surprised if the game ends right now.
Wow. I'm sorry to say, for both Bibi and Kate, they have had roller coaster tournaments.
Absolutely.
I mean, winning
Every
and
day.
losing positions kind of go back and forth. And I mean, eventually your stress levels just go explode.
Or do you just adjust to it, that you're always playing like this, so it's your normal?
I don't think. How do you adjust to something like that? Because I mean, your adrenaline rush is
Yes.
just overwhelming at a certain
You get used
moment.
to it, as Javokhir said. Actually, Wei Yi just made a mistake, so maybe we
my
should
goodness.
jump back.
Okay, I'm here with Wei Yi. The last I saw was hold on. Let me
According
refresh
to
my
the
board.
engine, at least I saw the question mark on the board. I don't know why it's.
It was
at that
King
move.
G3. Oh, he did play Rook D8.
See, the bar went all the way down after Queen E2. Why is the most natural looking move bad? Is
Right.
it Queen G6 check? King.
Okay, let's have a look.
Okay, maybe if you go King H2, there is some tactic.
Queen G6, King H2.
Or Rook C8. Rook C8. This is not good. So you have to.
Uh-oh.
You have to go King H3 then. Immediately.
Alert. You're right. King H3 after Queen G6?
Probably only move.
Bishop G5, H6 looks terrible. Okay. Sorry, Queen G6, King H3, yes. And then?
And then what does Black do here?
This guy is a potential weakness, no? I mean, you've got ideas of Queen F5 check.
Rook F8?
Yes, exactly, Rook F8.
Maybe Black is winning a pawn and going to the endgame, winning endgame.
In these positions, I'm afraid of this. This one, right?
Yes.
This is what chills me.
Yeah, it's still difficult to play for Wei Yi without making mistakes because his king is so weak, his pawns are all spread out and hanging.
Exactly. Can I do... Hold on. Am I blundering something? If I could anchor my bishop, maybe it's not so bad. I see the bar hates my move.
It says it's lost completely.
I mean,
Why?
I'm doing the most natural move in the world. I feel like I'm getting punished for playing...
Yeah, so you're not gonna. I just saw it on your engine.
What?
King F7
Oh, be
is
serious.
-4.
Be serious.
No one's fighting that. What?
King F7?
What?
I thought I was anchoring my bishop
I
nicely
think
with
Rook
F4.
G8 is coming with a mate.
I've got Queen C4
Then
check.
Queen E6 and the endgame is lost.
Wow.
Just to update the viewers, Bibisara did convert her game and takes down Katerina Lagno.
Which brings BB to a half a point behind the three.
Yep.
Two tournament co-leaders.
Possibly 3 if Anna Muzichuk wins her game.
Speaking of which, Miro, did Anna win her game?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But she found all the good moves so far.
Okay.
And she still has to find more. That speaking of, like when we switched to this game for the first time, we said it's a winning rook endgame because the engine was saying so. But she found already, let me count, 6 only moves in a row, and she has to find more because once again, I see the engine gives +4 if you go King C5, and if not King C5, then it's just equal. And she just played it. I guess it's understandable because there is no other way of making progress, right? So King C5. As much as I want to make it dramatic, it's the only move, but it's the only move that makes sense. So King to C5, King E5, and then...
Rook F7?
Rook F7, G4 is a draw. So apparently King C6 or Rook D7. And Rook D7 is something I do not necessarily understand. Well, Rook D7, yes, coming back to Fabi's game yesterday. So you push F5 and then you get Rook D5. You go to one of the files, it's D6 or D4, and then Rook B4.
Right.
So that's recurring theme we keep seeing. Yeah, after Rook D7, Black is in trouble because you're threatening Rook D5, then another check with the Rook, and Rook to the B file.
That's nice.
Are we seeing the exact same pattern 2 days in a row? When
Yeah.
I've never seen it in my life before.
Yeah, right. You should study the Dostoevsky. I was going to say Dostoevsky.
Let's check a women's updated standings as some results have come in. Currently, there are two co-leaders. Shujiner took down Vaishali today and joined her in lead. Anna Muzichuk is very close to winning her game, so it would be
bouncing up to that 7,
tie.
right?
And Bibisara will be only half point behind the leaders with still 2 rounds to go.
And that will be your potential challenger out of that group of 5.
Group of 4 at the time, but yes, I mean, I think it's 25% chance for all of them at this point.
Well, I'll take the half point, but phew, wow, that is
the
crazy.
Half point, if she has 2 whites out of, if the last 2 are white. And
King
Yasser,
F7.
Bibisara, she's one of the favorites, right?
Well, I had predicted that she would win the tournament. As it turned out, I was doing really well through the first 3-4 rounds, but then she had a slip in that middle of the event.
I'm just going to point out that if Bibisara wins and Javokhir wins, 2 players from Uzbekistan both winning the candidates.
Wow.
Well, she's from Kazakhstan. Wait a second.
Oh, you were so close on that
close,
one.
but not close enough.
No. That move, King F7 by Anish, to win the game would be remarkable. I'm still with the game between Wei Yi and Anish. They have made the time control. Let me emphasize that, because that was a key factor, the time trouble. Did he play Queen C6? Wait a minute. What have I got?
Yes,
here?
he didn't give a check.
He did not give a check. Okay. Does that spoil? Because it does.
A little bit.
The
but
Queen G6 check,
was better.
but maybe by a lot, right? Because we were winning. We were driving the king to H3.
Well, if you find King F7, you're winning, but
Yeah, with Rook F8,
unnatural.
right? Okay, but he's done Queen C6, and he said, okay, your turn. What are you going to do as white?
it's very hard for me to play here with white because there's... I can't connect the moves for white. It's just random moves I'm making with the queen.
Well, the thing is I can understand from black's point of view, black might want to play King F7, Rook G8, Rook E8, now that the queen is on C6, and try to play for a light square attack. I mean, as a human player, I mean, I'm about what's my weaknesses. The pawn on B2 is weak.
No,
maybe
too many weaknesses for white.
Yeah, if I could anchor my bishop on E5 by playing bishop E5 and F4,
yes, you
I feel like that in a rook versus bishop ending, I've got some chances of holding.
Maybe white needs to play actively and go queen E5.
Bishop E5, I'm a
Still
little...
King F7.
Yeah.
G2 is a problem, G2 square.
Precisely. Anytime, you go King F7, anytime I reach for this pawn, and you go check, this G2 square comes back to haunt me, and I have to...
No, Queen C5, and I feel like we're almost checkmated.
Oh, jeez. That's nasty.
That's not what we want.
That
so
is
maybe
not
he
what we
needs to
want.
keep the bishop close by.
So you were mentioning
Queen
Queen E5?
I just want to start giving some checks. I want to have an active queen.
But your check
Queen
is...
G6, King H3?
No, I'm saying Queen G5 check is going to be my Queen
If you
G6.
come King F7,
Gotcha. Okay.
I want to start giving some checks.
Okay. That makes sense.
Wei Yi played H5.
Whoa.
We were not looking at that move.
H5.
Okay, I understand why he played it. He's stopping Queen G6. But it's not a good move according to the engine. Black can play Rook D5 right now.
Uh-oh. Did he...
Is he losing the pawn?
Yeah, did he create a target? I mean...
Anish missed it. He played King F7 very quickly. It's a hot potato, this game.
Yeah.
Guys, I feel like we are getting obsessed over computer moves too much, because if you forget computer exists, I think we've pinpointed like a few moves ago that black is better and we have no clue how to win.
Yes.
And that's what happens, right? I mean, there are some accidental tactical opportunities that like happen and then go away. indeed rook d5 somehow was winning this game or like getting a larger advantage. Yeah, but even so, after king h4, like I'm seeing those lines and I'm not sure why they're winning. Like king f8 is better than the other moves here, for instance. Like how often do you play king f8 in this position? Not even to f7. So it's really weird, right?
Right.
So for now, I believe like play is doing something which is sensible,
right?
At least, right? So
and
then now queen e5, you probably have to find, otherwise you're losing. That's what computer tells me. But now at least I understand why, because rook g8 is a threat, right? And then some queen c5. So queen e5 centralizing the queen, covering c5, and then if rook g8 played, then you have to be able to go bishop g5. This is not trivial.
But Miro, also you're allowing rook d5, which was winning a move before.
Queen e5, rook d5, queen e4. Ah, come on. Queen e4 pinning the rook and targeting h7. Yeah, that's super tricky. I'm almost sure, like, whenever we see kind of a tricky engine line, this is something that will not happen on the board.
A quick question for ourselves. After the move queen e5, I find myself drawn as black to the move queen d5 to try to trade queens. would you think that...
No, I can't trade. That looks very lost.
That's my question, if you felt it was lost or not. Maybe especially with the pawn on h5? I'm not too sure. So you would probably avoid the queen trade by...
c3 maybe?
c7 check. Queen to c7 check. And if rook d7, apparently queen c8. So that you keep the rook under attack. And this is how you're holding.
Gotcha.
And I guess eventually he doesn't mind to push the pawn on h6. Like queen f5, h6 is what computer does.
Queen f5, h6.
Yeah.
Kind of funny because it suddenly gives king g6 a square. Rook f5, rook d5. Again, I'm trying to trade queens.
Queen c3?
Wait a minute. Wait.
No, but back to c7 with a check. It's always a check on c7. Yeah. If you block with the queen, then queen c4 again attack the rook, or queen c3 threaten queen g7. I believe we as humans, we want clarity. We want queens off the board, and then we say, okay, we anchored the bishops that this is a draw, or vice versa. Black gets to b2, black is winning. And Compi says, just play. Keep the queens, like always look for tactics, never blunder anything, which is unlikely case in a human game, right? But that's what makes computers, I mean, they're better than us in many regards, but this is something that we absolutely cannot compete. In positions like that, where you have to withstand the tension for a prolonged period of time. So if you give me the position and say, Miro, find 3 good moves or 5 good moves in a row, maybe on a good day I can do. But like playing the position like that with utmost precision, no, we stand no chance.
Yeah. King f7, and Wei Yi is actually facing an incredibly important test. It's exactly at this moment. I could find queen e5. I don't think that that's a hard move, but the crazy part is it's the only move. In a position I kind of feel like I have choice. I mean, I may not have a great amount of choice, but I didn't think it was the only move.
It doesn't feel like yet that white is that lost that you have to look for only moves.
Exactly. But here it is, a big moment. And again, for those joining us late, huge result in the ladies.
There's actually, sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. Please.
I just spotted bishop g5 was also an interesting move because you don't have rook g8.
I've got queen e7 mate.
Yeah. He did play, he found the only move, by the way, queen e5.
Queen e5 did Wei Yi, yes. But you mentioned that bishop g5 could...
Yeah, why is that losing?
Rook e8, I thought. I thought the move queen c6 and king f7 was inspiring the move rook e8.
Queen d3?
Oh, that's h-pawn is hanging. Excuse me. H-pawn is hanging.
It's probably like still rook d5 and you allow me to check you on e7 and it's not scary. You just go to g8.
I'd be scared.
Yeah, because I'm almost checkmating you with h6 there.
There is queen d6.
Yes, that's the problem. So,
wow.
That's why Wei Yi found the only move, queen e5, and now still great test for Anish. It's a good thing that he doesn't know he missed a win.
No.
Because if he was aware of queen e3 just ending the game, right now he would be panicking. But
Right.
he thinks he's doing everything right. He's using all his chances.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have also a remaining game.
Tan Chong-gi just won her, I believe, first game in the tournament.
Oh, let's switch
against
to.
Divya. Yeah, that was her first win, which is unbelievable, honestly. She's the former world champion. She's number 2 by rating in this tournament, my pick. But she just had a bad tournament.
Truly. This was the king walk. When we had left it, she just, that is to say, Tan, had just achieved like a marvelous, marvelous setup. A very, very passive bishop for white. And Tan
managed to break through this position with g6 on the king's side and then went for a checkmate.
Wow. Okay.
Very one-sided.
I'm 100% with you. I mean, Tan was very impressive. She came to St. Louis. She played in the Sinquefield Cup. She was
Karen's Cup, yeah.
Karen's Cup. What am I saying? Sinquefield Cup. Karen's Cup, and very, very impressive. As you say, former world champion. What is she doing in last place?
That's
No
how tough this event
wins.
is.
Exactly.
You can be a world champion and be in the last place.
Remarkable. But congratulations to Tan as she makes a bad tournament a little bit respectable.
Absolutely. And as we still wait for Anna Muzichuk, these are the results so far. And Zhu Jiner and Vaishali are currently sharing first place. Bibi Sara is in third, and we expect Anna Muzichuk to join the leaders in first place. Let's go over some game that we didn't have much time to pay attention to. That was Esipenko against Prague. It started as an exciting game then.
A very exciting
We were
game,
expecting
in
a
fact.
draw, and I think it's heading towards a draw right now.
Are they winding down towards
I think they're
a draw?
repeating Rook A2, Rook A1.
Gotcha.
So that's going to be a perpetual.
Rook A2, Rook A1. So just to score, it's 4-2, by the way.
Yeah.
Black has a lot more guys
Pawns, yes.
than you
But they're
do.
double pawns and 2 of them are hanging. So.
So maybe,
All right, we expect this to be a draw. Let's check Fabi's game, because while Anish is thinking, we have neglected Fabi's game today.
that's Matthias. It's, wow.
He's been under a lot of pressure the entire game.
So we had talked about this position where, unfortunately, this pawn on d5 is a target in the center, and I always like these positions for white because the majority on the queen side plays a very, very lackluster role. You can play a2, a4, but okay, let's get to the current position.
F5.
Wow, f5. Wow. Okay, queen back to e6, takes.
It's the current position. It has
I
to be
mean-
calculated. If we take everything on d5, who's winning? Who knows? Actually, it's Fabi to play, right? And he
Right.
played king f6.
Oh, that's on the board. In fact, king f6. Okay, I thought I was up to date. That's strange.
It's on my
Why
board.
doesn't it update king
Yeah.
f6? Okay, king f6.
It's hanging on d5.
I
but
see from the thermometer
Triple zeros?
Well, dead even, but I like white's position. What am
Yeah,
I
I'm with
missing
you.
something? Like, what's going on?
Even
Why-
just e5 looks like white could still press.
Well, okay, so give me a turn. If I go queen here, okay, I hope I'm tricking
take.
you. I hope I'm tricking you. I'm not tricking myself. I wanted to.
Maybe king f5, king e4. Is that crazy?
King f5, king e4.
If you
is
take with
not-
the knight, which I
yes,
assumed you were going to.
that was my intention until I saw the move king f5. Oh, well then you've got a very nice blockade suddenly. No, that's not what I was trying to achieve. So maybe queen f5. By the way, am I up to date with the board? Huh,
I think
no.
it's lagging a little bit. Oh, yeah, this is correct. They just took on d5 and white retook with the pawn.
Gotcha. So I am up to date. So we're now in a queen and pawn endgame. Oh dear, to begin with. But white's
What's
a
your choice?
double
Yeah.
pawn.
True,
ahead.
but it's still Fabi who has to be a little bit careful.
Exactly.
Anish is still thinking. I'm keeping an eye on that game since that is absolutely important
For the standings.
for the standings. Yes.
For the entire tournament story, actually. We want to make round 13 to be an exciting round where...
Have some drama.
Yes, exactly, where Anish could, under amazing circumstances...
Well, honestly, if he wins today, it's not even that unthinkable. Tomorrow he has white.
Exactly.
Javokhir can collapse under pressure, and then there's half-point difference going in the last round.
And the crazy part is he's had a near 3,000 performance.
Yes.
So Anish would have to have, as well, a near 2,900 performance.
And this is what Anish's next 2 days look like after this round. He'll enjoy a rest day. And then he's facing the tournament leader, Javokhir Sindarov, with white pieces. He will have a chance to put some pressure, maybe trick him, get him in his prep, and possibly win the game. And in the last round, he will be facing a very solid player from Germany, Blübaum, with the black. Not going to be an easy game.
Not at all. But Queen e5 by Wei Yi, and Anish has been, 5 minutes in the tank. Miro, jump in on this one. Crucial game for Anish.
Absolutely. Well, as we know, most advantage objectively has been lost by Anish, right? Not finding, I think rook d5 was the last kind of important move to find here. But again, it was quite tricky, as we've already discussed. And after queen e5, what does he have to do, and how hard the task is? Because again, the best move is supposedly rook d5, queen e4, and you go back to g8 and you pretend that you have something.
Okay.
Okay, Yasser, good news for you. Here, computer finally approves that you can go bishop e5 and f4.
Finally.
And somehow here we start understanding, okay, we did anchor the bishop, we covered the g6 square. So here we get this little bit of comprehension what's going on. Yeah, but instead of rook d5, if you were to go rook g8, then bishop g5 is perhaps strictly only move.
Which is very difficult.
But Miro, we have a move. Anish played queen d5.
Which is such a natural move.
Yeah,
to
we were
my eyes.
trying this one, and we said white cannot trade and has to find all this like queen c7 and stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Queen c7, rook d7, queen c8, and so on.
Are these natural moves to you, Miro?
Well, what's natural is not to trade the queens, right?
Yes.
That's something that I understand. Like if I trade the queens, so I guess yes.
He played
like
queen c2.
He played queen c3, you mean?
2.
Oh, check here and queen c2. And queen c2 allows queen takes h5, pardon
Why is
me.
he giving up the pawn?
Pardon me, it allows queen h5, but you can take a4. See, he might not be wrong
scary.
here. He gets rid of this a-pawn. So black theoretically has a passer on h7, right? I mean,
Not just in theory, in practice.
No. I'm thinking like what are pros and cons? Yeah, like a4 pawn obviously was very good for various endgames, right?
Yes.
Now with the h5 pawn, is that the one? Yeah, I think, okay, that's far away, but just bear with me. I want to trade the queens.
Right.
I guess lose the pawns for white and remind ourselves, that with the pawn on h5, it's a win, I guess, without the f3 pawn. So this one, computer thinks is just a draw. I guess it's some sort of a fortress, some form of a fortress. You just hover here. But what I wanted to show is, yeah, okay, even something like that. This is a non-trivial win. But if you were to go to h4, this one is a draw again.
Wow.
You see, the thermometer is coming back.
Right.
Yeah, with the pawn on h4, it's a draw. So we are, in reality, we are here, right? Or here, it's queen c2, so queen h5, queen a4. And white, I guess as long as he keeps the pawn on f3 intact, he is allowed to trade the queens. Which is like surprising to me, to be honest. Yeah. Surprising to me, because like just a moment ago, we were avoiding the queen's trade. But on the other hand, that like, if white realizes he's allowed to trade the queens, how black doesn't trade the queens? Like, black king is out in the open, right? So you'll have, like, checks, checks, checks all the time, and black will have to block with the queen one day. So I'm guessing Wei Yi is much closer to a draw compared to where he was a few moves ago.
But Miro, include queen takes h5, queen takes a4,
Yep.
queen g6, check.
Right.
Where do you go?
To the H file, apparently. Okay, let me try to go to F2.
I think queen b6 blunders a pawn.
Even king F2, queen B6, king G3. Yeah, you cannot take the pawn because D7's hanging, but you can go to G1, king H3. Okay, we are back to this territory, guys, where computer shifts variations and we don't know why, right? Check, and here, and again, we are back to 0.5, minus 0.5 that is, because Compi was saying queen D1, but my guess is this has to be a draw still.
Wei Yi has included a check on c4, hasn't taken the pawn yet.
Queen to C4.
Is that a useful
King
check?
F8. I'm not sure it's useful because now we are running into rook G7, right? So perhaps it's going to be one more check then. It's one more check, and then it's one more check.
I'm getting more
how is that
confused by
helpful
this
for
ending. For sure, because why isn't king F8, and can I use the G file suddenly?
I think king was badly placed on f7, so why am I taking it?
King F8, yes, check, and then you go to G8. And then after this check, can I go back to D5 with the queen? Yeah. No, but then you take the pawn, and after this check, king F2, the king is safe.
Safe.
I have no idea why. Yeah, queen to C5, bishop E3. Okay, all right, C2's covered. So we are back to this conversation that whenever we have an idea something's clear, computer tells us no. Queen C4. I guess the game's going to be decided when they're very low on time and somebody blunders something.
Just to update viewers, Prague has drawn his game against Andrei Esipenko.
They made that repetition. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to explain what the move queen c4 kind of threw as off track. Queen takes a4. I was thinking queen g6 and king h3, and I was like, this in my mind was a dream for black. This idea, all I need to do is go rook h5
rook
mate.
d5 and you should win.
Yeah, exactly. And I was thinking that if I could force the king to the h file, isn't it wonderful? Haven't I achieved the best?
Here I come, Gukesh.
Right? And then the move queen c4 check kind of like made me think, well, excuse me, queen takes h5, queen c4 check. Then it started making me think, well, wait a minute, I'm getting to play rook
You're
g7.
helping me.
Yeah, you're helping me, right?
King is on f8. Anish has played it.
King f8, right. And I'm asking myself, why did Wei Yi include that check? Because
He didn't like something about immediately queen takes a4. That's clear.
Can you take it now? Can I
No,
use
G7.
this? Yeah, this is my question.
Immediately lost.
Immediately lost?
Yep.
Like not even a draw?
No. Not even a couple moves. Queen h4 check and then rook e7, right? And you're gonna get mated in the middle.
My king is just getting flushed out.
So he gave a check on b4. Now
after king f8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Expect king g8. That's the only move that makes sense.
But again, isn't black somehow improving at each step? His king was badly placed on f7. Now it's beautifully placed on g8. Wow.
I think you have to give a check again. Queen c4 might as well, right?
Okay. Does this queen d5?
Okay, and then as Miro showed us, apparently the king is safe on f2, so we just take here on a4.
Yeah, we take on a4, and after rook g7, we can go to f2, but believe it or not, king h4 might be holding as well.
No.
Something that, yeah, well, try to beat me, or rather try to beat the computer after king h4. It's also non-trivial.
Crazy.
I mean, who plays
H4.
like this in the game? Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, even this, black goes h5, and why is black not winning?
Queen e8 and queen takes h5?
No, queen's on D5.
Here.
No.
Here.
Queen
After king f2.
I do, but not queen h5.
Yeah, just go king h7. You don't have any good checks. Is the queen trade a draw?
Apparently queen e5 is strong.
That's...
If queen e5 is strong, I'm wondering why
Why
queen
not
e4
queen e4?
is not strong. Wow. Okay. Okay. There you go. And there you have it. So current position, 19 minutes to 16 minutes. Something tells me that this game is going to be decided in the 6th, maybe 7th hour of play. And I can feel
and
for
what would be your
two.
guess for the result? Is it Anish wins or they draw?
You know, I like the rook because the king, white king, is just so exposed at the moment.
Just based on how the game has been going, where Anish missed a couple of winning opportunities.
Yeah, it's like he builds up, gets the winning position, lets it slip, but he doesn't let it go all the way to triple zeros. He just keeps enough of an advantage
that he always has a chance. But remember, that's how Wei Yi was against Hikaru. Like, he got that lost position, and then he managed to save it.
Right.
When it looked like he wouldn't.
No, that's one of the things that really separates these grandmasters is their tenacity in holding terrible positions, lost positions.
Wei is thinking about... So for Wei, the result doesn't really matter as far as the standings go.
For Wei Yi,
yes. So he's thinking, I'm just playing a spoiler for Anish right now.
Yeah, I think we've all played spoilers at one time in our career.
On the other hand, if he loses, then he's helping Anish against Sindarov. So,
Exactly.
I wonder what he's thinking. Or maybe he's just thinking about himself and his rating.
Well, here's our current, and we do have king g8, queen c4, but this is our current situation with two results.
With some games still going on, but Sindarov's sitting pretty with 9 points out of 12. Anish is trying to get a win to have 7.5.
Which would make
close.
round 13 more interesting because Anish plays against Sindarov on Tuesday.
Fabi has 5.5, but we expect him to maximum draw his game, so he will only have 6 points.
Exactly.
And it's all about Javokhir and Anish.
Yeah. It comes down to that round 13, and can Anish add some drama into this
He's already
event?
adding drama, otherwise it'd be over, right?
True that. Queen f7 check, Miro.
Queen c4 check, you mean?
Yeah, queen c4 check. Block the check with the queen, with the rook.
With the rook is interesting. The reason for that, why rook f7 is interesting, because we were expecting Wei Yi to give a few checks and then eventually munch the pawn on a4, right? But
Precisely.
now, if you take on a4, you actually do lose in the same fashion. Rook g7, king f2, queen h4, we've seen that. Or we've seen something similar.
Right.
Right, so the king gets into the open, check here, I guess, king d3, and then, okay, it's still not trivial, some queen h5 needs to be found, but yeah, you get a good guess that with the king on d3, something bad's going to happen.
Right.
So after rook f7, apparently the way to hold, or the way to be close to hold this one, is to give a check on c8, rook f8, queen c4. Yeah, and you keep checking, and if queen goes to f7, this is where you take on a4. Okay, this is also not easy. This is where you take on a4, and here turns out you're unbothered with these checks because king f2.
I like how Wei Yi is now playing fast and Anish is the one spending more time because, yeah, Wei Yi can afford to go into time trouble here. His position is hanging by a thread, so he needs to have time on the clock. But Anish down to 14 minutes. This is the first time he's lower on the clock. Of course, he's very nervous right now. He knows this game might be slipping away from him. He probably felt earlier he was very close to winning.
Yeah.
What do you do in this position?
No, I'm confused. So what happens if we block with the queen after queen d5? Queen c4, queen d5. We said queen takes
a4,
pawn, right?
Yeah.
We said queen takes pawn.
Yeah.
And if h5's played?
Yeah, it looks scary.
H5, king H7. I just want to be safe with the king, but maybe it's nothing.
Well, the thing that confuses me is that in this position, I like the centralizing queen move, queen d5, is I was thinking I'm going to use the g file, and there are times that you want to play rook g7, and there are times that you don't. I mean, this strikes me as a time. King h4, Miro.
No one's ever going to play that.
I mean,
No, but king f2 was fine.
Yeah.
Oh, king f2 was, yeah. I mean, I thought you had.
No,
my
both are
mind
playable.
exploded. And
but-
I liked your h5, and
Yeah.
I thought, oh, okay. I mean, on a good day, I get to go h3 and rook g2 and sign my score sheet. Isn't
It's like
this
2 moves away from black winning.
right? And I didn't understand why this wasn't good
Apparently,
for
queen
Anish.
e8 and queen e5 holds.
Yeah, that was
Or
the
maybe
thing.
even queen e4.
We got here, and queen e5 was the move that held the game, and I didn't understand why queen e4 didn't hold.
I
If
think
that
it
was
does. I
true,
think it does.
why isn't the other equally true?
Definitely. Both will do.
I wonder. Just let's put that on the board for just a moment. Queen e5 takes. Oops, excuse me.
The difference can be that big between having the pawn on f3 or e4. It's
Guys, we have the technology. We can check with the database. Both are theoretical draws. Queen e5, trade in the queens after queen e5 or after queen e4.
Are both
Is that
good?
table base saying that?
Yeah, that's seven-man table base. Yeah.
Okay, that's a relief. I mean, you know, it's
So we do
moment-
understand something about chess.
a smidge. Yeah. Okay. Current position.
And she's thinking after queen c4 check. Yeah, it's not an easy decision to offer a queen trade, cover with the rook. Or, well, king move just invites more checks, right?
Yeah.
I think we were here before. King f8 would be a repetition.
And you don't want to go to h8 because you lose to queen c8.
Good point.
Good point.
Good find. But okay, rook f7, very reasonable move. Very, very reasonable. And then for some reason, queen c8 check. And now that the queen has been dragged, presumably from this great
Sorry, one
square.
moment. Why can't we play king g7 here instead of that last move?
King g7 here.
Or you just take on a4 since the rook doesn't have a check on the g file anymore.
That might be
Yeah.
just it. The simple queen takes a4 again. Although I am seeing the barometer,
The engine lies at this point. It keeps going back and forth. Once you make the move that it says it's much better for black, then it says it's equal. So it's confused.
annoying.
No, but doesn't queen d4 force you to return to one of the previous positions? Queen d4. I don't think rook f6 can
No,
be
bishop e5,
considered.
No, rook f6, bishop e5. That makes no sense.
King f, yeah.
You're right.
Point.
King g6. Sorry, just
Let's keep walking, yeah.
now that we're already here.
Ah, all right. And then, then you have to take on a4, and there is no queen g6. Okay, so it does not force the previous position, but it makes a difference, queen d4 check.
Right,
Because now queen a4, and you don't have queen g6.
right.
Once again, why this one is a draw, no one knows. I guess because you trade the queens, and then you check with the table base, and it says it's a draw, so you believe it.
So yeah. Okay. Whew. Wow. Okay, we're going to leave this one alone because my head is spinning. I'm
We'll
calling
be
for
back
mercy.
on this game very shortly, but let's check how Fab is doing.
Let's do it.
I think he's found a way to force a draw now in the
We
queen endgame.
left it a queen ending right about, no, it was
It was
these
here.
parts, yeah. G4.
Yeah, opening up White's king completely so he can give endless checks.
Okay.
Yeah, queen
Wow.
f2, right? This is the current position. Probably queen f1 or queen e3 should be an easy draw.
Hold on. Queen f1, queen g2 check.
I'll take in king f6. I think I'm
Oh, you're
winning
in the
that.
square. Now you're. Whoa.
You do have d5.
Yes. Is that?
But then I create the other passer on the queen side.
A6.
And black is definitely not
What are you
losing.
talking about, guys? There's king f7, king e8, black just wins.
Yeah.
No, don't
you.
blunder
Thank
this
you,
one.
Miro.
Yeah. King h3, queen f1 should be just a
So then
perpetual
it's
check.
just a
Yeah.
perpetual check.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay, that will. And so what we were just tasered for
Yeah.
just that split second. The king is in the square, right?
Not only that, after king f6 and d5, you simply go king f7 and take both pawns.
Now, yeah, normally it might be some kind of a zugzwang and black's king. There would be a pawn on f7.
Yes.
So if the black pawn was on f7, that was what caused us. Actually, if the black pawn was on f7, white is winning, because white's king just comes to the queen side and you have no moves.
I still have 2 pawns though.
But what Miro said was, look, no, guys, just play king f7, king e8, king here.
Yeah, that's definitely a draw. We can jump back to Anish's game because moves are coming in.
Okay, Wei Yi, back to Wei Yi and Anish, and they have...
Anish shows the rook f7 move, covered with the queen, and now queen takes a4.
only move.
Yes, sir. Are we going to see the king on h4?
No,
Gotta go to f2, right?
Not in 15,000 computer simulations.
Don't say
will
that
I-
because we've seen
don't even-
unexpected things happen.
That would be like a 10 sigma event.
You know the commentator's curse, right?
Yes, I do. Trust me, I know very, very well.
Okay,
We
so-
will never see this capture ever.
Okay, now it will happen.
Yeah, of course. It's
What if Anish goes immediately queen g7 and takes the pawn on b2?
good plan. That's a darn
Also
good
with
plan.
the check if you go to f2, so maybe you should go king h3.
Okay, but this is like a dream come true. All I have
Oh,
to do is
yes,
go
yes.
rook h5 mate.
That's scary.
I'd be scared. Queen g7 check. I like it. See, I think in chess, the idea is that, you keep testing your opponent. And you make them uncomfortable with the tests that they are thinking to themselves, oh, I'm probably losing now that you've put my king on h3, right? So I like queen g7 check.
Well,
He's
he
played
play-
queen g6 check.
Now I'm happy to play king f2. You're not taking the pawn with a check. Why would he not go to g7?
Miro, jump
That's
in on that.
strange.
Why not the obvious queen g7 check? In case the king goes to f2, that's a munch with check. You'd have to force the king
You've
to
lost me,
h3.
guys. I was following Musicuk's game, but yeah, let's go back here. So after queen a4, what did you say? Queen g7? Yeah, queen g7 check.
Yes,
And the king would have to appear on h4 in this case.
right?
Or h3, because yeah, if you go back to f2, then of course, yeah, queen takes b2 with a check. But king h4, king h3 seemingly was holding. What I see now that Anish has played queen g6 check, apparently this drops his advantage even, like almost all of it, because now you allow white to go back to f2. I'm completely stunned by this game, let me tell you. It is too confusing.
Too many questions for us as well. I'm going to go back to the game of Matthias and Fabi for just a moment, because I do believe perpetual check is now completely inevitable. That since white can never...
Cover with the queen.
Yeah, it can't block any of the perpetual checks.
I mean, he can, but he will lose, so he
will
won't.
lose. Right.
Yeah, he's played queen d3, and I think we're
Again,
gonna shake hands.
this is
And
this
there
is
it is,
what
officially a draw. So we got 3 draws in the open section, and all eyes are on Anish's game. Can he win and improve his chances to win the candidates?
I'm okay. A little bit of a mystery going on in this game, but for Wei Yi, I would be absolutely resistant to playing the move King H3.
Because you're so close to getting mated.
Absolutely.
It's very scary.
Right.
I would only look at King f2 here.
Exactly. And
Is he
yet
worried
this is
about
the
rook
moment that
c8?
he wins. That he thinks. Sorry.
Right.
Is he worried about Rook C8?
Yes, let's check rook c8, rook coming in from the second rank.
Okay. That looks like a very good.
Yeah, why is this not losing?
Maybe the bishop. I can use the bishop as a blocker. So
Do we
if I
want to
go,
use?
well, I'm not saying I want to necessarily. So let's say I just centralize, and if for argument's sake you play rook c2, I'm not saying it's a good move or not, I can block.
You can, but this looks like now I can maybe run with the h-pawn, and how because white's king is so badly placed. I don't know, it's hard for me to believe this is so close to equal.
Yeah. Well, your king is a little bit exposed. I also have a check.
You do have a lot of checks on the d file. Yeah, that helps definitely.
I mean, I'll borrow a
Without
page.
that.
I'm going to borrow a page from my, I think there was a book. The title of the book was Draw! Exclamation
An
mark.
exciting book.
Yeah, very exciting book. But the idea was you had all of these bad positions, but increase your defensive
I see.
awareness that and most of it was based on these perpetual checks, these unusual perpetual checks. So draws. So yeah, I think it's queen d4 against rook c8. Miro, a hugely important game to the career, most especially of Anish Giri, because he has been a potential for, well, in fact, let's turn it to Maurice in Cyprus.
Thanks, Yaz. Well, Anish's game, of course, is huge and could be hugely impactful on the tournament. A win by him would absolutely set up this incredible battle in a couple of days against Javokhir Sindarov, who is leading at the moment by enough points that Anish, 2.5 points, that Anish will have to win and then win again in order to stay alive and even make it a race. I can tell you the press room gave a palpable gasp when Anish missed the move queen to e3. As you guys have looked at, queen to e3 would have just sealed the deal, and then instead he's played queen c5 and ended up giving his opponent this many chances, and now it's just likely even, although he still has chances, of course, because the white king is a bit exposed. But queen e3 was such a monster move. No doubt he was worried about the possible perpetual check lines that could have transpired right after that moment with queen d5 check and bishop g7. But still, you think this is a chance to contend, and to miss that opportunity really has once again deflated everyone watching. As much as we want to see the greatest chess possible, nobody's rooting for anyone, just for drama of some kind. But I will say the drama, the ladies are providing it. And these wins that are happening every single game, this round was just amazing. And clearly we see another win coming with Muzichuk about to seal that deal. That has everyone's attention as well. 2 days remaining, and the ladies playing for it all. Nobody knows what's going to happen, and it's just simply super exciting to be watching that side of the tournament. So we'll see. Can Anish somehow pull a rabbit out of her hat in this one, or will he be regretting the missed opportunity that could have put him in contention in this tournament? Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much, Maurice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine the press room and everyone watching that live and waiting for the queen e3 move. And Maurice said that nobody was happy when Anish didn't play that, except Sindarov. I'm pretty sure he was happy.
Wow, that's great. That's great. I'm looking at this game of
Anna Muzichuk?
Yes, she won the rook for the b pawn some time ago, but her opponent last move, f5, is trying her
tricky,
best.
Right?
Exactly. Alexandra is trying her best to...
So just show our audience, if you take on f5, it's simply g3 and game is
a draw.
Draw.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to allow this, and a draw is inevitable. But she has played
rook a2 check, which is winning.
Yeah, that was the good move, I want to say. And you force king h3. You don't want to go king h1 because of king g3, right?
Rook a5 here.
Yes, precisely. And the difference is that
And
if you
G3.
play G3 and the desirable G2,
And in the mate. But if you
ouch.
go H4 first,
yeah, and then you
I'm
get
in time, King F3.
exactly.
Right on time, like one tempo, exactly on time.
Right, and your very next move
So
is
King H2, Rook G5, and that's it.
exactly.
Yeah. That was so close.
True, true that. And
Anna
clock
Muzichuk
times.
is down to her last minute, finding all the best moves. And Miro told us earlier she found 6 or 8 only moves in the rook endgame to get to this position.
Honestly, she found many more, and that's one position or one game that is quite misleading. You can get quite misled by the engine because every move, computer says it's completely winning, it's completely winning. But if you follow the database, the table base, like white really has to be precise. So now she repeated it twice already. She went rook a2 check back, king h3, rook a3, king h2, rook a2, king h3, and rook a5 now. Does this win?
Yes.
I think it does, yeah. It was like to show something funny. So here I've opened the table base and I thought, what happens if she repeats it twice already so she can no longer go rook a2? Let's pretend that rook a2 would be a threefold repetition. Apparently, white's still winning with rook a4, the move that nobody would play, but it's a table-based win.
Really?
Rook a4, yeah, and the point being somehow that, yeah, like basically h4, you just take on f5, and then the rook proves very useful on the fourth ring.
Yeah,
Rook
rook
A4.
takes.
But rook a4 is such a funny-looking move.
And then the idea after rook a4 is G3.
Yeah, if you go king h3, then... Yeah, wait a sec. Yeah, rook a4, king h3, and this is where you go... you again move the rook. No, come on. You still have to find this rook a5 idea. Anyway, so she did find it, and now I'm tempted to say there is no more tricks left, but you never know.
She's played rook a5, yeah.
Yeah, she did play rook a5. No, seriously, it's a fantastic endgame technique from Anna Muzichuk. She was given a chance. Originally, I'm still not sure if this endgame was winning around move 40 when they've gotten there. Mm-hmm. But then whenever she's gotten a chance, she sees the advantage. She, well, never let it slip.
Wow. Rook a5 on the board. And for Anna's fans, she's a last-minute replacement. And should she win this game, she'll be tied for first with 2 rounds to go. And every chance of becoming the challenger. What a Cinderella story that is. My goodness. Make a documentary on that one.
Let's remind everyone what the standings look like in the women's section. Zhuzhiner, very important win today against Baishali. Now both of them sharing first place and waiting for Anna Muzichuk to join as well. And Bibisara will be in clear 4th, half point behind them. No one else can get 6.5, right? Yeah. So it'll be among these 4 for the next 2 rounds.
Exactly. And again, winning on demand with the black pieces, you got to tip your hat.
Today.
Yeah, big time. That was simply huge.
Let's go back to Wei Yi.
Yeah, I was about to say, we do have Alexandra played the move G3, and we do have this, I'm expecting rook takes, threatening mate, so that after h4, king f3, and the idea is that after king h2, Zugzwang, you get this move.
I think this is in Voretsky's book. I've seen it before.
Yeah, exactly. And after king h3, whoop, that's it.
Sorry. Go back.
Oh,
all the way to the end. It's not complete. I can play g2. And you can't take it. Show one more trick.
You're right. Whoop.
That's a stalemate. So you have to waste a move, go rook g5 or something.
Exactly.
Wait till king h2 and only then take.
Take with a check. That's you end up mating. Let's go back to Anish.
Wei Yi has decided to keep the king on h file. He didn't go to h4, but he played king h2.
Oops, sorry. I
Which seems
think
to
I've
be
got
a
some
decent move
analysis.
because I see the thermometer didn't go anywhere.
So instead of, after queen g6, instead of going king f2, he did go king h2. And
It's so scary. All black needs is rook f5, rook h5, checkmate.
right? But somehow black's king is a little bit vulnerable.
It has nowhere to hide.
So let's play h6. Let's just say, okay, I'll put my king on h7, and then I'll start to, you know,
Okay.
a little maneuvering.
Right, right. Yeah. As soon as you get the rook on f5, then I'll have to be able to give you checks.
Right.
So let's say queen c4.
Queen
Start with that.
c4.
So now we know any queen trade is a draw.
Yes.
That endgame,
So I'm
so-
avoiding queen trades. King h7.
I'll give you another check. I do want to push b4 actually and create my play as well.
Okay.
Okay, rook f5 is coming next.
Trying.
Also, rook g7 is coming. Oh, I think I messed
Trying.
up already.
You still have that queen e4.
Queen
business.
e5 with queen e4. That's the only move probably that saves the game.
Yeah, like I don't know if this is. Oh, my bar did not like
Oh,
this.
take rook g4 and maybe that's lost.
Oh dear.
Because we
You're
lose
absolutely
both,
right.
Pawn is on h6. It's not on
Not
h5.
on h3 or h4. Oh, nice, nice.
h6 is an amazing move.
So, but no, this is getting
Very
scary, right? Because queen e5, I got to go rook here. You got to
I
go
have to
bishop
defend with the
g3.
bishop. Yeah. By the way, Anish has played h6.
Okay. Still, Miro, Anish is still in there with a shout.
Well, you just covered everything. Yeah, after h6, there are traps, but yeah, as long as white doesn't blunder, he's fine and spot on with your analysis, guys. So check rook f7, and now indeed this one loses with queen e4 because takes rook g4. And funny enough, remember I was talking how like it's a draw with the pawn on h4, but if the pawn is on h5 or h6, black is winning. So after rook f7, he'll have to find queen e5 so that rook g7 can be answered with bishop g3.
Bishop g3.
And this one holds.
Wow.
This one holds, but again, it's not like it's holding, meaning white makes a draw. It's just like you'll have to play it. So
Yeah.
white will be under pressure. Black will be trying to create threats. And yeah, it's a very, very hard task.
9 minutes against 5 on the clock. But it's easier for black, of course. They don't need much time to make moves here. It's white who cannot afford to get into serious time trouble.
Right.
So if we go b4 here, let's say.
b4.
Yes.
Okay, with the same similar ideas. If I go king h7, yes, king h7, b5, rook g7. Sorry, show me that again.
Then queen e4, because I should be close enough. B5.
Breaking news, guys, breaking news.
Yes.
Muzichuk blew it away.
Be serious.
No.
Yes. Yes.
How's that possible?
Well, Goryachkina found yet another last trick. I told you, like I was looking through the table base, and it was tricky. So this position, where we said curtains, everything, there was this king g2. Very tricky move. Now if you take h5, it's a draw. King f2. Anna found rook a5. h4. And she forgotten to play king g4 first. She's given this check, and she fell for this trick. King h3, king f3, g2. So check, king h3, that's the live position here, and then king h2, king g4, now g2, and it's a draw.
I'm speechless.
So she found up to 20 only moves, and then one slip, and it's gone.
This is devastating for Anna and Anna's fans.
How is it? At the moment of her crowning glory, when it's really, she's done all the hard work that she could. Oh, chess is cruel.
This is too cruel, honestly.
So over here on move 65, all she has to do is go king g4, and now after king h2, well, simple. You have to find rook h5 after king h2. Anything else doesn't win. And then g2, and this is where you take, and then you go king g3 precisely. Yeah, h3 works as well. Yeah.
Wow.
So that it will. Well, this endgame, Anna played exceptionally well, but Goryachkina, I have to tell you, like she kept finding, even in the positions which were plus 40, whatever, according to engine, checkmated 32 moves, she kept finding those kind of tricky continuations. And eventually she got rewarded for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Truly.
Yeah, wow, I'm still in shock. I mean, to play the endgame so well and at the very, very last end, just not find king g4, rook h5. That was the only thing left. Let's not forget, it's because Anna's playing with 30-second increment. She never got to increase her time to actually have a think. And with 30 seconds, you know, you're playing intuitively more than calculating, and she messed it up.
Wow.
Yeah, so this game concludes now after king f1, and you have to take on g2.
Absolutely.
This is actually the only draw in the women's section.
Yeah,
and it could have been a win just
I mean,
5 minutes ago.
This is it.
Oh, but that absolutely ruins Anna's chances completely. I think that mathematically...
She's still only half point behind.
No.
What do you mean?
Yes, she is just half point behind. It just psychologically...
Oh, she's not tied for first. She's like with BB.
How do you come back from that one?
That's the thing. How do you recover after this game?
Wow. Okay, we'll get those results. But the point is 2 players now are tied for first.
Only 2 players tied for first and 2 players sharing third.
Exactly. Oh, wow.
Still 2 games to go. It's twice already that Anna was very close to winning, and the first one against Divya she lost. Today she drew.
What could have been indeed. Anna there should be sitting regally at 7 points.
Should be sitting with 8 points.
Right.
Yep, now 2 players tied for first, 2 players tied for third, and I don't know ahead if they're facing each other in the last 2 rounds or not.
Well, let me see. I actually have... You're not going to believe this, but Tom, our producer, actually gave me a sheet of the women's pairings. See. I'm going to look ahead.
Sara's playing Muzichuk.
Zhuzhiner, Alexandra, Bibi versus Anna. What a matchup that is. And Tan Zhangji, Vaishali, Tan Zhangji.
So, okay, still absolutely anything can happen.
Huge games coming up on Tuesday.
The ladies are giving us a lot of tension and drama.
Exactly. Whereas it's going to be all eyes on Anish and Sindarov come Tuesday, because that's it. Let's go back to Anish for a moment.
All eyes on the prize, guys. And again, I come here with the breaking news that Queen B3 check was not as good as Queen C4 check. And now after King H7, apparently Anish is winning.
Wow.
So in a way, it's a mirrored situation, right? So the ladies were supposed to have all the games decided, and then there was this last game that finished in a draw.
Right.
And in the Open tournament, we have all draws, and then this one could have been a draw. Well, could have been a win for Anish before that, but could have been a draw, and now it's back to be winning for Anish Giri. King H7, and the trick is, from what I understand, that after Queen B7, you block on F7, and I think we were supposed to go to E5 from here, right? But B7 to E5 would be an illegal move. And that makes it problematic.
He's played Bishop G3, no check.
Played Bishop G3, so now Rook G8.
F4?
Yeah, but this one is...
Is it H5
well, I
or
mean,
something?
I guess you are still holding, yeah, but H5, you got to go to G1.
Oh, I was talking about pawn H5, threatening
No,
H4.
Queen H5 check is very annoying because Queen H5, King G1.
Because I've got this check on E2, right?
Yeah. King G1, and then
King G1.
I
This
guess
looks terrible.
Queen G4.
King F2?
King F2, and this is where you might consider going H5. I guess with the bishop on G3, which never gets to F5, to E5 pawn. Shouldn't this be?
Looks winning.
We do have
it's
Rook
very
G8
close.
on the board.
It's very close anyway. Rook G8.
Yeah.
I think it's either Queen B7 and you trade queens, and we know it's lost because the pawn is still on H6.
But how do you trade queen? Rook G7, Queen E4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one we had. Queen takes, pawn takes.
He's going
and
for it.
rook g4, e5, rook b4. Well, I guess he will have to demonstrate some technique, but this should be winning.
So we do have rook g8, queen b7 on the board. This is live.
Yep.
Rook g7,
Rook
of course.
g7. And queen e4 is a table-based win, Miro?
Let me check. Queen takes, pawn takes. Are we in a table-based territory? Yes, it's a win, but you're not too far off. For instance, you were decided to go king g6, and then bishop d6 is the only move to make a draw. So we might be having this similar type of endgame where we'll be saying, okay, this guy's now winning, and now the other guy has a draw.
Right.
And for them, they will be
Flip-flop.
just like playing moves that make sense to them.
Right.
Because it's still quite tricky to navigate. And I don't think white has anything else other than queen e4. I mean, you could try queen b8, right? It's not so clear why queen b8 is so bad.
Right.
Probably queen c2
Queen
and
to
h5.
c2 with a check, king h3, queen to f5 check, and then
This looks wrong.
king g2. Otherwise, you lose f3 and then h5.
Right.
And this is where, I guess this is where it ends.
Okay, that looks very, very nice. And the king, black's king, is at last cocooned. There's no perpetuals or anything.
Yeah.
That looks very
And he's
impressive.
going for a queen b8, so now wow.
So big moment here. Is it a difference if I start with h4?
You mean h5?
Pardon me, h5. I want to play
Then
h4.
queen f4, and you're probably not making progress.
h5.
Queen f4, and the evaluation drops significantly. Then you
goes-
probably cannot get on the same track anymore.
I see. So we have to include queen
So the
check,
precise thing is to give two checks.
right?
Then you go back to g2, because you have to guard f3.
Yeah.
Black goes h5. Now you go queen d8, stopping h4.
No queen f4s anymore. because
Yeah,
we take-
and then black goes check, king h3, queen g6 again.
Queen g6, threatening checkmate.
Yeah, and I guess when you go queen b8, this is where black has h4, so maybe this is like the line to show.
You know, it's strange, but there's some echo of the game that Anish won against Fabiano, where he played h5, h4, and king h6.
Oh yeah, I remember
And
that.
checkmated the king, yeah,
the
yeah.
white king.
Yeah.
If he checkmates the white king again after h4.
Both times with the black pieces.
With both
yeah.
times with the black pieces, yeah. Oops, that's a pretty one.
So that's a tricky line, but I guess
Winning.
that's how black is winning.
Okay, and it starts with queen c2. Well, this is, I mean, not to build up the moment too greatly, but this is the moment of truth, at least for this round. Anish needs to find queen c2 check, not a difficult move. Queen h5, queen f5 check, and h5.
I'm sure he wants to push h5. He's waiting for the right moment.
Right, but indeed, I was reaching for the h pawn, but it's this move, queen f4. The moment you see queen f4, and you go, well, why don't
He's given the check. He found the right move.
Yeah, why not include? There's no reason not to include the check and to drive white's king along the g
Of course,
file.
because then with h5, you're threatening h4 with a tempo, not
the-
tempo, but pin.
Yeah, the potency of the move h5 increases dramatically with the king on g2.
Both players under 4 minutes right now.
Ooh, this is
A
it.
very, very tense moment here.
Absolutely, this is it. Sorry, I believe we're at queen c2.
Yeah, king is on h3. That's the current position, and he needs to find another check.
Yeah,
By the way, engine says it's over after queen f5. It's completely done.
yeah. I'm looking at the chessometer. Can I
So
use
queen
that word?
f5,
Queen
king
f5,
g2, and h5.
h5. Wow.
Seems pretty simple once you see it.
Yeah, because but it's something you've. Again, I mean, kudos to Anish. He's done absolutely marvelous job at securing his king. About 10 moves ago, the king was on f7 and kind of
Wasn't very happy exposed.
swimming around, and there's a lot of
He's found the good right check.
He's on track. Is Anish King G2, because as Miro was saying, you don't want to allow Queen takes F3, which completely destroys any hopes of fortresses. So King G2 H5.
Yeah.
Biggest moment of his career, of Anish's career right now.
Yes, until if he wins this, then his game against Sindarov.
Then it becomes the next biggest game, or maybe even a bigger game of his career. And by the way, I mean, he's having a fabulous tournament. I mean, we've been talking about Sindarov's TPR for the longest time with good reason. It's amazing to think that the game with Prague could cost from round one.
Right.
Crazy. It was round one that derailed Anish. Here's his last two rounds.
He recovered after he had a bad start, but he's recovered very well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, today he seems to be converting his advantage. This is TPR. As you can see, Sindarov has the highest, 29.42, but Anish is second at 28.18.
That, as far as I'm concerned, is playing like a world champion. TPR of 2,800 plus. Yeah, that's just fabulous. I mean, if you're going to play well, you want to play great at the biggest tournaments of your career, and this is as big as it gets.
Would you be hesitating to push the H-pawn, knowing that if queens come off, it's a draw, because you pushed H5?
The crazy part is I'm actually aware that it's a draw if the H-pawn is on H3. I play H5 knowing that the queens come off. It's still winning.
It is?
Yeah.
I thought it had to be on H6 to be winning.
No. H5 is winning. H4 is a draw.
H4 is the draw.
H4 is a draw. Well, like given that all the other pieces are
like that little piece of trivia, has been drilled into
so
me.
then what's the hesitation going?
Yeah.
I thought that was the hesitation here.
No.
all right. He might not see one line that I'm ready to share with you guys.
Please.
So after H5, what did we say? Not to resign. You have to go Queen D8. Yeah.
Yep.
And then Black really has to exercise in chess geometry, because you go check C2, back to G6, and then we said, or I said, Queen B8. I made it up, guys. Queen B8, of course, loses to H4, right?
Right.
But why don't I go Queen H4? And then yet again, this time this check, King here, this check, and then eventually you get to F3.
Nice.
So this check has to go like a pendulum back and forth to C2 and to F5, then to C2 and to G6, and eventually we get into F3 pawn. And by the way, technically speaking, the game is still going because there is no checkmate of any kind. It's just like, yeah, it is a winning position, but still some technique needs to be shown. I guess not so complex technique, because now you're definitely allowed to trade the queens.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Miro. We're going to take a very, very short break.
Very short break. Don't go anywhere. An intense game. We'll be right back.
What will happen? Ooh.
we're back. Round 12. What an exciting match we're watching right now.
It has been extraordinary.
Absolutely. But let's check the women's standings because all the games have finished there. There was a very dramatic finish. Anna Muzychuk was one move away from winning and joining the leaders, but she messed up in the last moment and now is sharing third with Bibisara, while Zhuzhiner and Vaishali are sharing first.
Yes, and in the Open, the standings there, we've got one game remaining, of course.
Absolutely. As we all know, Sindarov is dominating the field, 9 out of 12. Anish Giri is close to winning, but still needs a technical conversion of this endgame. If he wins, he'll have 7.5. They're facing each other and still everything to play for.
Well, as we were going on break, we got to this position where we expected that Anish was going to play h5.
And he was winning.
And that was a winning moment, but he got lured into a completely different idea, which was to drive White's king to h4. But this was not the way to go.
It looks like he's checkmating. I understand why he was drawn to this.
Exactly. But that was
now, White King is surprisingly safe on h4.
remarkable.
And Wei Yi soon starts pushing. Oh, actually, that was a mistake, apparently, according to the engine. But now look, Wei Yi pushed b4.
Okay.
And
b4.
now he has counterplay. How do you get to White's king on h4? This is unreal.
Black's king is just simply not secure enough. If you go too far, there's going to be a perpetual. Are we up to date?
Yes,
after
this is
the move b4?
Wow, 40 seconds now for Anish.
Jump in. Missed opportunity. What can I say?
Well, it is, and the one that it's hard to comprehend for me, even with the engine, because the engine keeps saying that this was winning, but it keeps giving. No, after he went all the way to h1, it was still winning, but apparently it gives more checks, returns to this position where Anish was supposed to play h5, and that would be winning. Then after queen b1, that I thought was a funny line. If White goes queen e3, sacks this pawn, then goes queen e4 check, and it's very hard to hide the king. And if you were to go rook g6, then bishop e5, queen moves somewhere, say to b5 or b6. That's what the engine wanted. And then after king h5, the engine doubts for a little bit and then understands that it's a draw. Because how can you ever make progress, right?
Right.
So bishop g3 was played instead, giving Anish yet one more time, one more chance to return with queen h1, queen e1. Queen here, b4, check bishop h2, check bishop g3. So now it's different. Don't ask me why. I guess the rook is on e7. Yeah, he was supposed to return to e7, f7, and so on. So now the rook's on e7. It's not much you can do. If you go queen b8, then is White in some sort of zugzwang after queen b1?
Can we go back bishop h2?
Yeah, but that's what computer suggests. But is it such an easy move to make?
Because any other move, I feel like we're blundering something, right?
King h5, you know, I just saw king was on h5, and I was like, blew my mind.
Yeah, like for instance, queen d6. Again, queen d6 kind of blunders rook f7, which is like far from being trivial to me.
Right.
Yeah. But you're right. After queen b1, which was played, by the way, it seems bishop h2.
Is to play king h3 as quickly as I can. And
king h3 you could do, yeah. King
just
h3
to get
does not necessarily lose.
Somehow to get back. By the way, the clock time's 2.5 minutes for Wei Yi, 1 minute for Anish. We've reached that moment, that point in the time control that they do get the 30 seconds.
Yes, they are, especially Anish is playing with the 30-second increment.
King h3, it's such a human move. Your king is wandering way up the board and could easily fall into a checkmate,
right?
Yeah, so king h3 makes sense. Queen f1.
And you have to go back to h4.
Right.
Yes.
That's automatic.
Yeah, because rook e2 is mate. So back to h4. Queen f1 check, bishop at h2.
Wow.
Wow.
If Anish draws this, by the way, just a reminder, so he'll be 2 points behind Sindarov.
2 full points, and Sindarov...
Anish has to win both 2. Sindarov has to lose both two just to force playoffs.
That's right.
So Sindarov's guaranteed playoffs if Anish draws this.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anish was so close to winning today. Not once, not twice, but at least three times.
Yeah. I feel that as a chess commentator, he's extracted the maximum amount of angst that we could probably possibly have produced.
Not just from us. Can you imagine his family watching? He's father of 3. No. I'm sure everybody's watching.
Yeah, 3 kids. Like, Dad, just play Queen F5 check and H5, and you got this.
Queen B5.
B5. Queen B5.
It's kind of a sign that he's retreating queen. He realizes, okay, I can't checkmate the king on H4. Let me stop your pawn and find some new tricks.
New tricks. You don't want to allow...
Do you just go back again, King H3? Queen H5.
With both hands, I'm playing King H3.
Right. And you're not afraid of Queen H5?
No, I would not be afraid of King H5. Queen H5, sorry.
There's something to be said for Bishop F2, I was thinking. Again, it's because it's one of the engine-approved moves. But also I'm thinking, like, if I can install the bishop on C5, maybe once again we are back to me allowed to travel, to trade the queen's territory. Maybe like Bishop F2, Bishop C5, and then some Queen E4s would not lose again.
Exactly.
So that could be, yeah, but King H3 as well. If he was on H3, if he's not afraid of Queen F1 check, then why doesn't he go to H3 back?
Anish must have gone down to 12 seconds because he's had 30 seconds added to his clock. So he must have been down to 12 seconds when he played the move Queen B5. And he is scrambling for ideas, Miro, at this moment.
Yeah. So, it seems like he has lost his thread a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it looked that he found all the good moves, all the right moves, but then something, he disliked something. So basically, again, if we go all the way back to this moment, I think, or where was it? Here, he had it. After King G2, all he had to do, okay, we tried to make it look easy, but he had to play H5, and that was a moment with clear-cut win, right? So instead, he returned here, went Queen D1, and from then on, computer shows some large numbers in black favor, but it's nowhere near as clear-cut as after H5.
Right.
Okay, King H3, Queen D5, King G2. We are back to...
He has to try H5, right? It's something. Because otherwise he can't even change the position.
Exactly. I mean...
H5, Rook G7, try something.
Rook E2 check. Now I'm tempted to play Bishop to G3. Bishop to F2, pardon me. Bishop G3 to F2. I should have said. And he's done that.
Guess you go back, Rook E7.
Yeah, you start to think about this queen going to C7 checker suddenly.
Do you think Anish feels that he missed a win?
Yes. I think he's recognizing that when his rook was on G7, his queen was beautifully aligned on rook on G7 and queen on G6. He was coordinating. I'm sure he felt that he was winning there. He just missed Queen F5 and H5. Sometimes we get overjoyed with our position. When Anish played the move H6, he probably really liked the fact that he had just given his king.
Setup.
Yeah, and then he suddenly forgot that, well, H6, H5 with the bishop on G3.
No, I think it's not that he forgot. He got very curious with Queen D1 and mating ideas.
Yeah.
And he got carried away with that. Because if he didn't see that idea, H5 is the only thing he can play.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he got lured into a false path. Way. Do we have... It was Rook E2, Rook E7. So I'm assuming Bishop G3 is just a repetition, right? So... I would find myself attracted to Bishop G3. Maybe
Then, as I was saying, maybe h5, rook g7 is the only thing you can try.
just because Miro alerted me a moment ago to the possibility of bishop c5 and anchoring the bishop, I'd consider that. Bishop c5, rook g7 check.
I wouldn't change up anything. Go back to g3. I survived like 100 times. I'm not risking it again.
Right. Good point. Good point. Yeah. I get it. I really do. But bishop g3 makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
I mean, given Anish's tournament situation, he has to try h5. Not that it changes position much, but at least make Wei Yi think and change up the defense a little bit, right?
Exactly. Yeah, bishop g3. Very human move.
Yes. Practical way to play.
Exactly. 36 seconds. By the way, Wei Yi went down to under 2 minutes. So players are still playing these very nervous moves. 20 seconds, counting.
Queen a2. Okay, you have to go. I mean, you don't have to. You can even go bishop f2, I think.
Bishop f2, rook g7.
King f1. Or actually, because I have perpetual over there, if you take my bishop, I can go king h3, maybe. Anyway, it's not happening. They're repeating right now.
King h3.
Do you think Anish has accepted that it's a draw? You would play this much longer, right?
I would, just again, because I just feel like it's over. If I mean, I'm going to try rook f7. Queen d5, king g2. I'm going to try rook f7.
Provoke queen e4.
Yeah, and hope that I can win that ending. A moment ago, the pawn was on b2.
Right.
I would have felt much better about my chances, by the way. But yeah, I mean, I just feel that the tournament circumstance.
That's stream of repetition, by the way. I don't know if we claimed, but I see on my screen that.
Yes, king g2. I see it as well.
I don't know if he claimed though.
Oh.
If he already made the move, that means he didn't claim.
Right, exactly. He loses
He's
the right.
letting Anish claim it.
All right, so it was once with rook e2, rook e7, and the other time with queen a2, queen d5. Wow.
But it still counts, right? Because position.
Of course, it's position repetition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's a little bit confusing, because I didn't feel like it was a threefold.
But when you have 1 minute, you might not realize that position repeated 3 times. But like you always say, Yasser, claim anyways, but worst case scenario, your opponent gets 2 minutes.
And you get the absolute firm knowledge of...
But wait a second, but that means like, okay, king g2, it's a threefold repetition, but now Anish cannot get the same position for the third time, because once he had it with rook on e2, the other one with queen on a2, but it's a draw.
I don't know if they agreed. Maybe they just offered a draw and agreed. Wow.
So close. We're missing the biscuit. I mean, Anna Muzichuk missing a win.
Players are getting tired. I think that's what's happening at this point.
All draws.
The updated standings. Wow, all draws. Nothing changes. Sindarov remains in the lead with 2 full points with only 2 rounds to go, which means he's guaranteed seat in the playoffs.
Right.
And Anish Giri is the only player who could face him in the playoffs. And
Anish needs to win out, and Sindarov needs to lose both in the ladies.
In the ladies, a lot more complicated situation here. I do believe this is not updated because Anna Muzichuk drew her game.
And she will have 6.5 points as Alexander. And let's check in with Maurice in Cyprus. What a dramatic day, Maurice.
Indeed, an incredibly dramatic day. Anna Muzichuk, of course, missing her win after playing so many great moves in that rook and pawn ending. But it was Anish Giri, totally disappointed, dejected after his game. You could see it, the fatigue in his eyes, the just depressed state, saying it was so close. And that position with queen e3, he said he saw the move queen e3. It's just that he couldn't figure it out after queen d5, king h8 what to do about H3. And his opponent, after the game, had seen F3, the devastating move in that position that would have sealed the deal. And his opponent showed him that Wei Yi, after the game, that this line would be winning. You just play F3 and it's over. So Anish obviously upset that he missed the win, and his opponent himself had seen it, and the opportunity to get that much closer to Sindarov and have a chance, a better chance at least, with a win in the next game against Sindarov to make this into a real tournament. I can tell you a lot of dejection all around the tournament hall that this is not a fight anymore. Although, of course, there are people who are cheering Sindarov on saying, yes, he's almost there. And well, he should be feeling that way. Although mathematically, it's still a tournament. However, not for Fabiano Caruana, who has been mathematically eliminated from this event. But still, we have a tournament to conclude in a big round 12, we'll make that 13 coming up in a couple of days. We'll go with the rest day and enjoy it, and then we'll play that big game for what may be the clincher, as Javokhir will become a challenger. Guys?
Thank you, Maurice.
Lucky round 13 coming up.
Yes.
Miro, last final thoughts to wrap up, again, a very dramatic day.
Well, I think it will be fair to say a day of missed opportunities.
Yeah.
Right, and the fact that we were closely following the women's tournament kind of opened my eyes how, you'd say, how crazy dramatic that tournament is. And even like with Anna not winning this one, still with 2 rounds to go, we have 4 potential winners there. And how close the tournament is, once again, the difference between the first and the last place is only 2 points. And that's exactly the difference between Sindarov and second place Giri in the open section. And Giri keeps creating and not taking the chances. It was a slight chance against Hikaru. It was a bigger chance, I'd say realistic chance against Yasipenko. And there were a couple of moments he was clearly winning today, and yet he keeps missing.
Wow.
Thank you, Miro. Well, he summed it up perfectly.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. I mean, it's been a dramatic day here from St. Louis, but we're going to have a rest day tomorrow. Tell your friends where you're hanging out. We're going to see you on Tuesday.
Absolutely. Enjoy your rest day, and we'll see you in 2 days for round 13.
This has been a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club. Any reproduction or distribution of this content without the express written consent of the St. Louis Chess Club is prohibited.